to my Uncle Pat in California.
It's Uncle Pat.
So I'll try to keep this brief. My Uncle Pat, the husband of my Aunt Becky, who's my father's sister, nicest guy in the world you'll ever meet. They've been married forever. Vietnam vet. Doesn't really talk about it all that much. But yeah, super good guy. I saw him when I got to California last week, and I'll talk about this more when I get to my week. We were talking Wednesday night, and he was telling me how he had just recently had a stent put in and all that, and he had just been cleared that week to start doing physical activity again. So yeah, we were talking Wednesday night, hanging out because him and my aunt live right next door to my dad.
Okay.
And he was mentioning how the next day he was going riding. They have horses out there and everything. And the next day comes around, come to find out he had a heart attack while he was riding. The stent apparently collapsed. Not a good situation. He had a pretty bad heart attack. He's still in the hospital right now. But it's looking pretty bad. So, to Pat, I love you, man. Hope you recover fully from this. And, heart goes out to my Aunt Becky and the whole family. Again, super, super good guy. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Pulling for your Uncle Pat.
Yeah, and it's crazy, too, because I was just talking to him the night before, and we were hanging out. We were having dinner at their house. And, he was telling me about the whole procedure and everything. And just, it fucking sucks. I didn't know stents could just collapse like that. I thought, they were a pretty good system to keep the shit all open and flowing and everything. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, I had never.
I know
heard about that.
I know
before.
my father's had several over the years. Yeah, I'd never heard of something collapsing like that.
Yeah,
something to keep in mind.
Indeed. Yeah. So again, my heart goes out to Pat, my Aunt Becky, and the whole family, and. Get well soon, sir. And all right, that being said, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about Star Wars, pop culture, California excursions, or whatever the fuck we feel like talking about. I'm Mr. Jason Roscom. With me here each and every single week, the Darth Vader to my Palpatine, Dave Martin. Hello, David.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I am well.
Well, that's good.
How are you?
I'm good. It's weird because we just did this last week. We haven't missed a week.
Right.
But a lot's happened in the life of Mr. Roscom in the last week.
Apparently, dude, you're all worked up. You're all over the place today.
I've gone coast to coast, a whole lot going on, and again, we'll get into some of that when we get into our weeks.
Yeah, but, I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten debriefed yet, so this will be. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So good times are going to be had by all, and yeah, that's that. Well, but before. We get into all of the riffraff. What are we talking about this week?
Well, we decided that we were going to get back to some Star Wars comics again.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about some Darth Vader comics a few weeks back. 3PO, a month or two ago.
Yeah, it was less than 2 months.
Was it?
Maybe a month ago.
About a week ago. Yeah, so we're doing some more comics. So we're doing the Star Wars comic series. Started in 2020.
Yes.
So this is a different Star Wars titled comic series.
Yes.
Not this Star Wars titled comics.
They just don't fucking care anymore. They're just, it's Star Wars. We'll just call it Star Wars.
Yep. Just going to wind up this toy and just let it go. So we're going to talk about this 2020 series and comics 1 through 6. And yeah, we'll have stuff to say.
Yes. Lots to say. Lots going on. And we'll.
Well, it's Star Wars, so
yeah.
we're gonna talk some Star Wars.
Indeed, we will.
Put it into context.
Yes.
For those of you who are tuning in right now, because for the next 45 minutes we're not going to talk about Star Wars. To put
As
it
we
in,
do,
like we do. That's the Sidebar Cantina, folks. This is covering a time period from basically the immediate starting point after Empire. Like. Yeah. This is in the Millennium Falcon, escaping Cloud City, fucking immediately.
Yeah, Luke's like sitting down looking at his fucking stump of an arm.
Like
So
reliving the entire experience. Leia and fucking Lando are going at it. Like,
yeah. Well, let's not blow our wads
well,
yet.
I'm just saying, for those of you who are tuning in and wondering what kind of time frame this is or anything else, and are curious, that's what we're talking about. So this comic series, that's when it takes place, and then we'll talk about those six books here in a little bit.
Yes, we will.
A little bit.
In the meantime, should we talk about Patreon?
You, sir, should talk about Patreon.
How dare you!
All right. You would think I would have had this queued up.
Yeah.
Because this is the way we do things, and I always have it queued up and ready to go, but I actually didn't for reasons. But we would like to give a huge shout out to all of our current patrons: David Schmuck, Brady Big Lovin', my wonderful mother-in-law Patricia Goodstein, Ivo G, Dragon Buddy, Shotgun Mark, Wally Frogmore, Frank Kalevich, Tony Ferrari, Kristen Roscom, Frederick Martin, Don Solsky, Lord Helmet Fire, Catherine Rennick, Scott and Kim from the Used and Abused podcast, Nicholas Schaefer, You're Distracting Me, and Nick from Swede Studios. If you'd like to consider becoming a supporter, you can find us at patreon.com/the Sidebar Cantina. Thank you again to all of our listeners and supporters. You are the reason why we do this. Back to you, Dave.
I got some Red 5 highlights.
All right.
Not highlights, but headlines,
Okay.
because reading is fundamental.
Indeed it is.
We have a few Red 5 Network podcasts that we'd like to welcome back from hiatus.
Oh, is that going to affect the number?
Welcome back. No.
Okay.
The Red 5 Tavern opened back up with Tales from the Bounty Board. Frozen Fright. These clever names. They're just so cute. So cute.
So smooth.
Catch the replay
don't
of
know
the
why.
misadventures of Kira, Raven, Eldron, Venestra, Kalisha, and Ishrik as
Are those real words?
Urshik. As they battled a bunch of ice wolves. Venestra may or may not have been flashed, or may or not have flashed them as a distraction. Why would wolves give a shit about tits?
Are they werewolves? Like, do they have a human side to them?
That's a good question.
But I mean, everybody should love tits. That's
That's fair. You have to tune into Tales from the Bounty Board, Frozen Fright, to find out. Part 2 of Frozen Fright continues this Friday at 2100, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I shouldn't say it. Never mind. Whenever you say Frozen Fright,
Frozen Fright?
yeah,
I thought you were
it's
going to
not flight.
Frozen Fright. Fright. Oh,
I wasn't gonna go there, but
Fright. Frozen Fright.
just go, man.
We also welcome back
No,
Dark We're Live
oh, we're gonna get canceled.
this past Saturday with special guest Gryffindor's Lunar Girl and Slytherin's Joker voice. Check out Return to Hogwarts at Dork Wars on YouTube and see them live every other Saturday at 21:30, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Good stuff.
Oh, hello.
That's all I heard when you said what was it, a frost fright?
Frozen Fright.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right. We had a bit in Star Wars news break today. Nothing huge, but it's worth discussing. I guess they announced that Andor is coming to Hulu, FX, and like one other
ABC.
Yeah, one other thing that Disney owns. And as I've been avoiding spoilers and things like that for Andor, though I did just watch episode 10 last night. But one thing that I have consistently seen is that the people who are watching it are loving it. But the problem is not a lot of people seem to be watching it as watched previous Star Wars series, Mandalorian and whatnot. And I mean, it makes sense, right? We talked this to death as we were leading into Andor, the whole why should I care? Where, conversely, it's turned into like one of the best things, in Star Wars right now. It's
right.
Fucking fantastic, but they just don't have a lot of eyes on it. So I feel like this is them trying to get it out to the masses who may not subscribe to Disney Plus or who just may not be watching it for whatever fucking reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're publishing right now that the Tales from the Jedi is like the second most watch thing on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Yeah, Tales of the Jedi, immensely popular right out the gate.
Because it delves into it, reaches back right for that Clone Wars audience
That's a big audience.
Yeah. I think for this particular series, I think it's brilliant to go into this market. Like ABC.
Yeah,
like,
I mean they own all this shit.
That's basically terrestrial television. Like if you have an antenna, you'll be able to watch Andor.
Yeah.
And that should be able to breach. Breach.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're still in the mindset of the last voice.
It's a breach into a whole new audience.
Good shit.
Hello. I can't
so
even.
canceled. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I think it's a good idea because I think if you're a Star Wars fan or even if you're just like a sci-fi fan, it's worth watching. It has like obliterated our expectations.
And I think less so of a Star Wars or a sci-fi thing and more along the lines of like a Bond.
Yeah.
It has a very Bond movie type feel to it where there's not as much cloak and dagger, but it definitely has that. It's not as sexy as the can.
No, definitely not. But I just realized I'm making all this fucking noise as I'm trying to screw the thing on. I'm like, all right, fucking, I might as well just go the full 9 and put it right up to the mic.
Anyway, yeah, it does. There's a broader audience that I hope you can reach, and good on it. Otherwise, you know what? They're still going to make the fucking show. They've already committed to season 2.
Yeah, yeah. But no, at the same time,
good
like
for us.
Yeah, but I still feel like everybody should be watching this. It's that good. Scott from the Use and Abuse podcast.
What the fuck, Scott?
But anyway.
What the fuck, Scott?
So, have a day in Star Wars today.
So weird. It's like I'm mixing it with something. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I don't know. We'll have to go back and analyze and figure that out. But anyway, I have a day in Star Wars today.
Oh, yeah?
And it's actually not today's date, but it's 3 days from now.
3 days later.
November 17th. And this is November 17th, 1978. The Star Wars Holiday Special airs for the first and only time on CBS.
Oh my fucking God. The Holiday Special.
44 years ago.
44.
The sake.
Whoops.
94.
I get those two buttons mixed up.
44.
So yeah, you know what that means. Next year being the 45th anniversary, we're going to have to commemorate it somehow.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch it again.
Yeah. Because
how did we get away with watching it live?
Well, we got blocked.
Time?
Yeah, we got blocked in a bunch of countries on YouTube. But what we can do is we can record it on StreamYard and save the recording, and we can upload it to Patreon for sure. Because Patreon don't give a fuck. They'll let you put any copyrighted shit on there. So, we can do a full reaction again. You and me can just sit there. Maybe I can drink alcohol by then. That's a year from now. Who knows?
Yeah.
And we get a little tipsy. We watch some holiday special, get a live reaction, and then just put it up there. And
honestly,
can watch
if you haven't drank by then, and even if you had like a little bit,
oh yeah,
it wouldn't take much for you at that point because you haven't had alcohol in so long.
It's been 11 months now. 11 months. A week from today.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll be 11 months.
Yeah, it's good though.
Yeah, it's not bad. I feel great.
Yeah.
So, that's something. But yeah, holiday special. Stir, whip, 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 stir. So apparently we've got breaking news. Scott and Kim from the Use and Abuse podcast, who we've been giving a lot of shit to lately for not watching Andor, binged the first 9 episodes last Tuesday, and then they watched episode 10 on Wednesday night. So they are up to date.
Good job, sir.
Well done, sir and ma'am.
Yes.
I'm assuming Kim watched it with him too.
Yes.
He said we, so yes. He could have just been talking about himself, but that'd be weird.
That would be weird.
Yeah.
And why would you do that?
I don't know.
Anyway,
I guess this is the time where we roll into our weeks, eh?
Yes. Let's fucking do it.
All right, so this is normally the point where I would have a new addition to
the sacred Jedi.
But Amazon let me down.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, because of my California trip and everything last week, I had to order a Black Series figure at the last minute. Was supposed to be here today by 5:30. Obviously not.
I love the had to order Black Series figure at the last
Well,
minute.
what am I gonna do?
I
Not
know.
have a new Black Series
Look,
figure?
I know how. Trust me. I know.
But I do have something to make up for it.
Okay.
And it's a nice bridge to next week's episode.
All right.
So I'm kind of jumping the gun a little bit, but so you remember a lot of G.I. Joe figures from back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Like you specifically, you remember the Bats figure? I'll show the peeps at home. The Bats guy, he's got the hand that comes off, and he's got different hands.
Yeah.
You remember him?
Oh yeah.
Well, I have something along the same lines as that guy to show you that has something
God,
to
I
do with
haven't
Star
seen
Wars.
this guy in forever.
And I have this guy. He is a Boba Fett version of the G.I. Joe Bats figure.
Where the fuck did that come from?
I am not going to say a thing until next week, but I figured I will let you take a peek at that. That was basically my backup in case the Black Series figure didn't come
Look at
in.
this guy.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah. But all will be revealed next week when we talk about G.I. Joe. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Excuse me a moment while I examine.
And yes, Kelly, you did forget, as was discussed before we went live. So you failed us for the last time, Admiral.
Well, not really.
Probably not the last time.
Well, no, I doubt she'll fail us again, but
Either way,
you wouldn't say that.
pretty cool though, huh?
How the fuck?
What? I'm sure people can Google it to figure out where
Yeah.
this came from, but I'm going to save any discussion on this until we actually get to G.I. Joe
Fair enough.
next week. G.I. Joe. So, that being said, I went to California last week.
Yes, you did.
Yes, it was a very short trip. I was there for 3 nights. Yeah, 3 nights. It was a very short trip. I had a very specific purpose. I accomplished my mission, and all of the mission will be revealed at a later date. But until then, I had a great visit with my family. Spent 2 nights with my dad and 1 night with my mom. Had some good quality time with everybody, my brother and sister. It was good with the exception of my uncle's heart attack.
Right.
Although that caused a mini family reunion as I got to see a bunch of my cousins who I had not expected to see last week at the hospital. So it was good seeing everybody, and quite frankly, I kind of needed it. You know, I've been in some weird spots lately mentally, and I think this was a really good just kind of like cleanse and sort of bring things back into perspective. And yeah, just had a really great brief time with the whole family to recharge my batteries.
Good.
And
Good.
yeah, overall it was
Call that a success.
Yep. And while I was there, my father and my dad's a big sports guy. He's more baseball. He's kind of like you. He's a bigger fan of baseball than football, but he likes all sports. He also likes gambling. And, you know, he and I have always
Gambling.
he and I have always talked about like fantasy football and stuff. And he got into DraftKings. And while I was in Bakersfield, he got me into DraftKings.
Oh,
He
wow.
sent me like a refer a friend request.
So
I
he
entered.
get his $5.
Oh, he got $20.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he got $20 and I got $20 for signing up.
Motherfucker.
And yeah, he got me doing a couple of daily drafts. So I did 2 drafts yesterday, a $1 draft and a $3 draft. And it was a lot of fun putting my teams together. But man, I got my ass handed to me. Like I didn't even come close to the money in either of them.
What format were you betting?
The classic, only the Sunday games.
Okay.
Where you set the lineup for the games that are happening on Sunday morning and afternoon.
Just regular classic?
Yeah.
Were you playing like a double up or what?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. We'll have to teach you.
Well, so basically, yeah, you put in either your $1 or your $3, and depending on how you rank, you could make as much as
Right.
10 grand or 100 grand. I think I was in a 1.1 million in the $3 game.
if I'll
Obviously, the odds are very low.
I'll get you steered in the right direction where you could do like a $5 where you're playing a 50-50 or a double up, where so long as you're in the top half of that group, you're at least going to double your money.
Okay.
And
So
that's a better way to play. That way, if you have a lineup, you're gonna have multiple options. Like if you play that lineup multiple times, you have a better chance at doing that. Especially until you get to a point where like, okay, you're confident, because drafting for daily is so far and away different.
yeah, I noticed that because
Yeah.
I'm not to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty fucking good at fantasy football.
Right.
Like I've always come in the top in our league, and even when you
Right.
and I did the work league, I was always like one of the top players, and because I just felt like I have a good instinct for it. I don't know.
Right.
Or maybe I'm just full of shit and I'm really lucky. I don't know. Either way.
A little column A, a little column B, but
Yeah.
daily is different. It's just because of having value added to the players and how you have to spread that out and where you have to take risk and where you don't take risk and things like that.
Yeah.
It's way easier to get into it if you're not getting your ass handed to you.
Yeah.
And the way to kind of make money and kind of stay in it is to do the 50-50s and the double ups.
Yeah. So I have a lot to learn when it comes to the daily stuff.
Yes.
So, but it was still a lot of fun, and I'll still be doing it. So I might be talking about that a lot more coming up.
I love you,
Where
Ivo
did
G.
that come from?
I love you, Ivo G.
Oh, right, because I beat Ivo. Well, come on. Was it my fault or was it your team for drastically underperforming? Mr. 89 points. Anyway. Oh. I gotta. So, obviously, going to California, I had to fly on the airlines.
Right. Flew the friendly skies.
So, I don't know if like people are just in general inexperienced at flying.
Casuals.
Or yeah, if there's like so many fucking casuals out there, because I saw so much fucking fuckery last week, and I took notes because I saw so much bullshit, and I'm just like,
I love it.
Can we just talk about like how people just don't know how to fucking fly?
Yeah.
They just don't. So I've actually seen stories about this recently. Leading up to this week, I've been reading a lot of stories about people like being asked to switch seats with like families that want to sit together and all this other stuff. And so I saw that firsthand on my first fucking flight out of Philadelphia last week. So I get to my seat and I'm looking, and there's this guy and his wife, and they have a little infant, right? So they're doing like the in the lap thing, right? And they're in the window in the middle seat. And then this dude walks up and he's like, I think I'm the window seat there. And they're looking at him. They're like, oh, yeah, we were hoping you could just switch. Can you just, it's just one row over. It's the middle seat in the row in front of us. Keep in mind, this guy had the fucking window seat.
Right.
And he's like, kind of humming and hawing. And they're like, oh, it's okay. It's just a 5-hour flight to Arizona or whatever. And, you could tell he wanted to say no. But instead of getting his window seat, he's like, yeah, I'll move. And he moved to that fucking middle seat. I tell you what, if I booked ahead of time, picked the fucking window seat, I always pick an aisle seat. But anyway, if I had picked a window seat.
Yeah, I'm a window seat guy.
And this had happened, I'd have been like,
no,
you're in my seat. You need to move.
Yeah.
Fuck that family. Fuck their baby. You know what? If you're flying with a family and you want to sit next to them, book ahead of time. Because that's what I do when I travel with my family. And guess what? If I can't find a bunch of seats that are all together, I don't book that fucking flight. I find another one. But these people who just have the fucking audacity to just be like, oh, can you just sit in the middle? Because the middle seat's fucking awful. Like,
oh, we know.
Fuck the middle seat.
Yeah. How many times when we're flying commercial, when we're still active duty, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
we had to go fly somewhere, like the government will only pay for fucking so much.
Yeah.
So you're stuck with a middle seat, and you're like, yeah, you're flying in
it's
fucking
miserable.
in cattle class in a middle seat, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I paid for a fucking window seat, and I'm, out of the goodness of my heart, I'm expected to fucking move on a 5-hour flight. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, no. Go fuck yourself.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck if you have an infant.
The goodness of my heart? No, sorry. That's not me.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's debatable, depending on who you ask. But in reality, like, I'm with you. Buy the appropriate seat. Like, you flew what, American probably?
Yeah, I'm always on American these days.
because that's the main hub is out of Philly.
Yeah.
So, and Philly's right here, right there.
Yeah, we could see it if these trees weren't in the way.
Right. So it makes sense that you're flying American, you're flying out of Philadelphia. It's a long flight. We get a lot of nonstop flights out of here. And I'm not going to book a ticket to fly in the middle seat. If I book a ticket in the middle seat, it's because I'm willing to live with that level of discomfort for that long a time.
Yeah.
Because I want to pay that price point, or I want to be within that time frame, right? And I'm willing to account for that level of suffering.
Yeah.
Right? If you absolutely have to be on that flight and you're going to be separated, then you get with the flight attendants, right? And you talk to the flight attendants, say, listen, we're trying to get grouped up.
Yeah.
And allow them to talk to people. Not you doing that fucking shit on your own.
Right. And
like,
the fact that
I'm just going to fucking camp out in your seat.
Right.
And then make you cave to some social fucking pressure and be like, oh, well, now I'm going to put you on this fucking spot, and you make you feel like an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's such horseshit to put you in that fucking situation, because you're stuck in this fucking tube for the next 5 hours with these people if you say no, and then now you're gonna suffer, and you most likely you paid extra for that fucking window seat.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's how the airlines roll.
Or you booked it far enough in advance to where you could pick whatever fucking seat you wanted.
That fucking the camping out to fucking basically make you put pressure on you to fucking cave to that social pressure is what fucking bothers me.
Yeah.
Like if you're in that situation, right? You're a family, like, hey, we have to get in these certain time frames just because that's how it is, and that exists. I know it does. And you can only get certain seats on the plane. Then you go up to the counter, say, listen, this is the situation. If there's any concession that can be made, if we could look for that, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Right. So if they have somebody that's going to fly space A that you could somehow maneuver the seats around for, then they'll be able to do that. But you have to talk to the ticket agent. You talk to the gate agent, or you talk to the flight attendants. I'm talking to you, everyone that's out there. It can be done. You just have to talk to the people. Talk to the gate agent, talk to the flight attendants, and they'll help you. They'll help you do it if it's possible.
Yeah.
Don't put somebody on the spot and I'm going to make them feel bad if they don't do it.
Oh, yeah.
Then I'm going to go on social media and talk bad about them if they don't do it. No, that individual paid for that fucking seat, especially me with a fucking window seat. I almost have to have it because because of all the flying that we've done.
Yeah, which is a lot. Like I am a seasoned flyer, both commercial and military.
We have thousands of hours, like over 3,000 hours easily.
Oh God, yeah. Like I think I was closing in on 5,000.
Yeah.
By the time I stopped flying.
Thousands of hours of flying. And like I know for me, I have control issues and anxiety. So if I'm not in a window seat where I can at least see what's going on, then I have a level of anxiety that is bad.
Yeah.
Like I need to be able to at least see out the window. And that helps control that a little bit.
And this is just my first of like many notes, by the way. So we're still on the first note.
Fucking people suck.
Yeah. So, okay. People walking down the aisle, right? Everything in the plane is fucking condensed. The seats are fucking small. The aisle is fucking small. When I walk down the aisle, I kind of sidestep when I'm going to the bathroom because, sidebar, I always pick a aisle seat because I piss a lot. And then when the plane gets up and pressurizes, I don't know, it like fucking presses on my organs and I got to piss like fucking 5 times during a 5-hour flight. It's just the way it is. Sorry. But anyway, when I go to and from the bathroom, I kind of sidestep. So I'm not like bumping into anybody. Everybody else doesn't give a fuck. They just walk straight and their hips are boom, 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 just fucking whacking every single person in every single seat. It's like, really? I fucking can't stand that. They have no fucking sense. They're just, I don't give a shit. Bam, 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 bam. They're just hitting everything with their fucking wide ass or their fucking hips as they're walking down the fucking aisle. It's like, really, dude? Anyway, that was another note. I'm in Phoenix, making my connecting flight to Bakersfield, right? And I get there, it was like an hour and a half layover. So at the gate that I was leaving out of, there was another flight leaving to somewhere in New Mexico. And they're calling this guy because like they've been boarding. Like everybody's boarded already, and they're calling this guy fucking Jim whatever. They're looking around. I can hear the ladies talking because I'm sitting right next to the desk, and they're like, yeah, he checked in. This is like 9:30, 9:45. They're like, he checked in at like 8:30 this morning, so he's in the airport somewhere. And they're fucking calling him, and they're calling him. They're like, we got to close up, you know. And they're looking around. They're like, yeah, we gotta fucking close it. Like, we gotta go. You know, we waited as long as we could. Close it up. 5 minutes after that, dude comes walking up, with a big sandwich in his hand. He's like, "What? What happened? You guys, I can't get on anymore?" And I'm just sitting there like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, who the fuck does that? You know when your plane takes off. If you've flown more than once, you know that they board about a half hour before the plane's supposed to take off. You just go fucking meandering around the airport. Oh, gotta get a sandwich. Gotta have something to eat on my flight. And, well, what do you mean you left? When they're fucking calling your stupid ass, they're waiting longer than they've waited for anybody.
Yeah. Well, that's good on them for actually caring enough to call and
Sure.
like, yeah, all right, they called the names. They waited as long as possible. They because the dude's bags are on the flight
Yeah.
and they're gonna have to take those bags off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's gonna suck.
Yeah.
Is not now they're gonna have to deal with this guy because the door's shut.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to take the fucking bags off the plane.
Yeah.
They can't just open the door and let the dude on. They just can't.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've run into that situation where I've gotten banged up in like customs. This is a story. These are stories for another time.
Yes.
But I've gotten banged up in customs because of the commonality of my name and potentially an IRA fucking watch list.
Mm-hmm.
And racing to try and make the flight and the door being closed and being screwed. Yeah. And then watching the plane sit there because they have to take my bags off and the people I'm with because they were nice and waited for me.
Yeah.
I got to spend another night in Canada, allegedly. But again, a story for another time. But yeah, once the door's shut, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Right. And the fucking, I never understood that. Even when I worked at the airport, you see it. You'll see people that they're like at the bar.
Yeah.
And they're at the bar and they're like, the plane is actively boarding, and they're just fucking still sitting there.
Yeah.
Like
Like
I
no
can't stand
fucking
it.
sense of.
We know people like this. We've traveled with people that are like this.
Yes.
These are the same people that are like, oh, we don't need to get to the airport early. Like, no, we can get there like a half hour before. We'll be fine. And those are the people I want to fucking throw down a set of stairs.
Yeah.
Like, no fucking way. No.
Yeah.
No. Because every time you go to the airport, it's going to be some sort of shit show.
Oh yeah.
It's especially when you're traveling for work.
Yeah.
Because anytime you would go, especially traveling for the government, because procuring plane tickets apparently is a new time. Every time the fucking government tries to do it, it's fucking brand new.
Yeah.
And you show up and they're like, oh, well, yes, we saw that you bought a ticket, but we didn't actually give you a seat.
Right.
Like, okay, cool. So what now?
Yeah.
Like, no, but well, if you didn't show up 30 minutes prior to fucking boarding, maybe we could have got you on this flight. Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people are assholes.
Yeah.
And they think that the world revolves around them, which is the primary point of all that. Is the same fucking, oh, this family is like, oh, we're so pathetic, and can you please help us? Look, our baby. Look at our baby. No, fuck you. Get the fuck out of my fucking seat. The world doesn't revolve around you and your fucking kid.
Mm-hmm.
The kid is probably going to cry and make my fucking flight miserable. I get it, pressurization, all that fucking whatever. I don't give a shit. Get the fuck out of the seat. Like, you shouldn't be putting people in that position because the world doesn't revolve around you and your fucking kid and your problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sorry, get on Twitter and tweet about it, but get the fuck out of the seat.
Yep. Along those same lines, while I was stuck in Dallas for 6 hours on Saturday, I saw another couple try to catch their flight. And, when they're done boarding and the plane's starting to back away, they have flight closed on the sign.
Right.
And again, as I'm just sitting around at like a charging station, I'm sitting next to this gate and this couple walks up. They're like, the flight's closed. What do you mean? They're like, yeah, we boarded, 40 minutes ago. And like, oh, but we just got here. And I'm just like, how do you people have no fucking sense on how to fly? And this must be your first time at an airport. And these people were like our age or maybe even a couple of years older. And they're just like completely flabbergasted. How could this be?
Look, there is something to be said for the fact that we have a very unique experience with we have a unique experience.
Yeah.
Because we have flown so much. We've traveled so much. We've
Yes.
been to every situation you can possibly be in the world when it comes to airports and customs and securities and you name it. Right? So it's going to be very difficult for us to
Whoops.
you missed.
Difficult for us to.
Come down to everyone else's like experience
Yeah.
level. Well, and I try to account for that when I'm dealing with the casuals. I really do. I try and account for that. But there's some, like you said, there's some things where it's like when they tell you on your ticket and when you're buying, hey, show up to the airport 2 hours early. Like that's like kind of a going thing. They keep telling you and telling you and telling you.
Yeah, and people.
That doesn't mean like, hey, leave your house. It's an hour away. 2 hours prior. That doesn't mean leave your house to get to the airport 2 hours prior. That means you're fucking dropping your bags in the fucking terminal 2 hours prior to the fucking flight.
Yeah. And to my family in California that always gives me shit for wanting to go to the airport early, or to certain people that I'm married to who give me shit about getting to the airport early, guess what? We've never missed a flight.
All right.
I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
So
It's so you can never be too early,
Yeah.
but you can always be too late.
oh yeah. One last note. So people apparently also have no sense for where the fucking overheads are, because I saw this one girl. First of all, I felt bad for her. She was probably in like her mid-20s. She was a volleyball coach. You know how I knew she was a volleyball coach? She had
set it on her jacket.
it said it on like the 50 fucking patches on her backpack and on her jacket that she was a volleyball coach. So I'm like, okay, right on. She's kind of tall. She looked like she was probably pushing 6 feet. I watched her because the lady next to her needed to get up for something. She was in the aisle seat. I watched her get up, bust her head on the fucking overhead, go to step over to let this lady, busted her head on the opposite overhead within like 2 seconds of hitting her head on this overhead. And then again, after the flight stopped, she got up and boom, whacked her head. And then I saw a couple other people whack their heads too. I'm like,
That shit sucks. Dude, you know how many times I did that shit on our plane?
oh, I'm sure you did.
Oh my god. Dude, I swear that's how I've probably concussed myself at least 3 times on our jet from like just standing up and losing my situational awareness of where I was to the fucking overhead
Yeah.
and just hitting it and having a brief span of time where like I time traveled and then suddenly I'm like sitting down
Yeah.
and like, oh fuck.
And I think that's what happened to this girl, because she got up, whacked her fucking head, and I think she was like kind of like out of it as she was still trying to step aside, and then boom, whacked it on the opposite
Yeah,
side.
it's-
It's like, oh, I felt bad.
What's funny, you don't appreciate this until you fucking do it a couple of times.
Yeah.
I remember I did it one time. I was standing in the doorway. I was in the 2 left doorway, and we were some foreign country, and you know how we had the security container that was like right by the doorway there, and you'd sit there and just bullshit, but you kind of had to squat a little bit as you were sitting on it.
Yep.
So we were doing something, and I think somebody had asked me like something. I was like, oh, I'll go get that. And I went to stand up quick, and I fucking hit that thing like not just regular standing up. I mean, I was accelerating.
Right, you're standing up quick
up.
to go grab something
Right,
real quick.
and I fucking hit that thing, and I forgot the rest of the fucking day.
Wow.
Right? They said like I think
That was probably a concussion, Dave.
oh, I know it was a concussion, Jason. I know for a fact it was, because what was even better is that we got off the airplane and I promptly drank after that, which
Jesus.
was not good. Don't do that, kids. Not a good idea.
Start calling you Tua. Were your hands like this?
My hands are usually like that. Call it the Lego hands, Jason.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was bad. And that was enough. Like when it happened and everyone goes like, yeah, God. And the fact that I didn't lose consciousness, just, yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
don't know. I can't even finish that thought. I've hit my head so many times.
yeah, and that one, like, I'm not really like upset or angry about the fact that this girl hit her head, but I feel bad. And again, it's just that people not having that sense for, where shit is on an airplane. It's clear that she does not fly very often, because I guarantee you the next time she flies, she might be a little more cognizant of the low ceiling right there as she's standing up. Or maybe she forgot that whole fucking experience. It'll do it again next
Or
time.
get a window seat so you don't have to get up all the time when somebody's like, that's, you are a considerate person because, hey, I'm sitting in the aisle. I'm not going to make somebody get up all the time.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a pain in the fucking ass. Because I've had those flights where I'm in like a middle or a window seat and the people sitting next to me are like fast asleep. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta piss. But I don't want to wake these people up.
Right.
So,
yeah, I've definitely gotten off the airplane where I was like in pain to the point like where I couldn't stand up all the way because I had to piss so bad.
yeah.
And yeah, it's just not a good feeling.
Yep.
Especially when you come from a world where it was your airplane, right?
Oh,
we had our own private jet.
Yeah.
So
was great.
we could fucking piss shit whenever the fuck we wanted to.
Pretty much.
So to be on the jet and like,
And we had like fucking 4 labs or some shit. Was it? No, it was 3, right? We had the 2 in the middle and then the 1 up front.
you had 4, Jason. Your instincts were right. It's 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
one
Oh,
up-
because we had the ones across from each other.
You had 1 by the one left door.
Yeah.
You had 2 by the 3 left door.
Uh-huh.
And you had 1 by the 3 right door.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my God, it's been so long. But
And why do I remember it?
I don't know.
And why
Dave.
am I why is spam risk getting through the fucking do not disturb?
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, that's all I had. It was ultimately it was a fantastic 4 days where I was in California traveling, with the exception obviously my uncle's heart attack. Otherwise, everything went according to plan, and more will come out about this very, very soon. So stay tuned.
Such an asshole.
I am. Trust me, it's going to be worth it.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. You'll thank me soon.
No, I won't, because you'll never get there. It'll be stay tuned for next week when we reveal who Cartman's mom is or Cartman's dad is.
Who is Eric Cartman's mother? Sheila Brothowski, the mayor?
Yes, get to the airport early, kids.
Yeah.
How dare you?
All right.
Is it my
It
turn?
is your turn. Now, I notice you don't have it in the notes. Do we want to reference our friend that's joining us right now?
Well, I'm going to talk about the Lego pivot here.
Okay.
So due to the amazing fucking thriftiness of your wife, we have a new mascot here in the studio. We have the life-size Pop Babu Frick.
He's so big.
He's so big.
So smooth.
No, he's not. He's giant. His head's the size of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at him. Look at him. Hey! He's got his own drop.
Yep.
And yeah, he was on ridiculous clearance, so he had to be procured.
Yeah. How much was he, Dave?
It was like $11.
$11 for this big ass Babu Frick
Yeah,
pop figure.
it's like I don't even know how much they were. They were like at least $30 when they first came out.
Oh, I would imagine
These
more.
giant ones.
Yeah.
So $11. I mean, he costs the same as one of the regular ones.
Yeah. One of the regular
The sacred Jedi
pops.
So even coming into this, being like, you know what, I'm 2 weeks in a row not having a pop. We managed to bring a fucking classic into the studio and have ourselves a new mascot.
Yes.
And
And he's
he-
so big. Like, this is the size that Babu Frick would actually be if he was real.
Had to be. Maybe his
If
head
not-
wouldn't be quite that big, but
Yeah, that head is fucking huge.
it's heavy. It's so heavy.
Like, that's not even physically possible. Think about if this was real life. That big ass head on that small body, I don't know if he could stand upright.
he's
Like, his balance would be awful.
his feet would have to be way bigger.
Yeah, he'd need that wider
So
base.
strong. He'd be so strong. His eyes have a weird, like, bluish tinge to him.
Yeah.
Stared longingly into my eyes. Very cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got it. We've got a new mascot and a new drop. So
Indeed.
that's awesome.
And what does that drop again?
So anyway, I've definitely been. I'm on a Lego pivot right now. So
Pivoting away or to?
into.
Okay.
I'm pivoting more into my Lego addiction.
The sacred Jedi Legos.
Legos. Yeah, if only there was a drop.
Yeah, I know.
If only. Yeah, I spent a lot of time this weekend like sorting Legos more. So I got some carry all cases and sorted some of the bricks out and some of the flats. So I have the cases for that, and then I wanted the little slidey drawer bit, which I used to have for when our friend the John, we had all his Legos at our house. But then obviously he had a daughter, so he got his Legos back. So then I had to kind of reset a lot of the collection. So I got little drawers going again with minifigures and then Star Wars minifigures and minifigure bits. So it's
So you've got like a whole filing system.
yeah, and it's
Nice.
it's only gonna get worse.
Oh yeah.
So still like I thought I had all the pieces I needed for this fucking TIE fighter build. Sadly, I do not.
Still short, huh?
Still short. So small.
So smooth.
But it's coming together. It's an interesting build, and I can see parts of it that I think I would do a little bit differently if I was going to do a build like that. I'm kind of fascinated with the idea of doing a build like that on my own. Like how can I build a TIE fighter or something like that with something a little bit more scale to it?
Yeah.
I see how these guys are doing it. Everyone does it a little bit differently, like how they build their kind of core pieces and then build around it. So it's interesting. And I think ultimately when this one is done, that might be what my next project is like, okay, how do I go about doing the engineering to figure out how do I make this one of my own? So that might be the longer project, but I'm probably going to, I kind of want to have this set up again for Christmas, like get all the Lego houses and the Christmas theme set up again.
Yeah.
Not as big a thing as I had, in 2015 when I had the fucking everything hanging from the ceiling and the trains and the whole thing. It's made smaller than that.
So smooth.
So small. But
My penis so smooth.
tiny Lego pieces. I have one. There's one little drawer. It's just the small clear ones. I actually have the label maker out too. It says
Nice.
small clear pieces.
Professional.
Oh, dude, it's an obsession. That's what I've been doing all weekend. It's just watching football and sorting Legos. It's fucking great. Like so what did you do when you weren't in class? I sorted Legos. And it was great. I can't. It's just, and one of Kathy's sister's fiance's kids. So what's that make us?
Absolutely nothing.
He came down. So we had given him some Legos, or some of the off-brand Legos that I pilfered out of the GW pile, and he comes and he looks at my stuff and he's like, "Oh, you're really into Star Wars, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, you nailed it."
You think?
Yeah, because on my desk currently is the Slave One build, Lego build. Then I have the TIE Advanced Lego build, and then I have like this bleacher set up with stormtroopers. There's like 3 rows of stormtroopers and bleachers.
Okay.
So it looks like if you're sitting there like doing something, it looks like there's like fucking an audience of stormtroopers.
That's great.
Watching you do something. So yeah, I don't. Oh, let's face it. I mean, I've always had a thing for Legos, and now I'm just kind of like, just leaning into that. I'm still.
Yeah.
I still see the pops. I see them, but
We all go through phases.
there's not been a big release like when the Obi-Wan release was out and like the celebration bitches.
Yeah.
When that came out, that was like, oh wow, these are kind of like, I really think these are nice. But there hasn't been anything really new that has come out. So maybe we'll get some Andor stuff. That'll
Oh, it's bound to happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
We get number 1 as a pop.
I don't know how good looking she'd be as a pop.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
A whole new world. They'll take the Princess Jasmine one and just like make that one into a fucking
Yeah. I do love me some Bix though.
number 1.
Indeed.
Just go with number 1. Yeah. So anyway, there'll be less pops, but tune into our Discord channel because there is a whole area dedicated to just Lego love, and it's usually me posting what I'm working on at that particular moment.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We'll have to get a way to shoot that Discord out again because we haven't really pimped that in a while.
it's on our bio link,
Okay.
I think.
All right.
Luna Girl? I think it's on our bio link. Bio.link/the Sidebar Cantina.
Sure.
It's almost like I read that every week,
I know, right?
but I don't because somebody else does.
Right.
Anyway, well, I haven't been messing with Legos. I've been playing some Call of Duty. I actually got online and played some Call of Duty with Dragon Buddy and Brady.
Is
the
this
other
a
day.
new version of
This is the Modern Warfare 2 re-release that is out.
Okay.
It's, you know what? It's Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Honestly, and even DB was talking about it the other night. I wasn't able to play for very long because my sister-in-law came over with her brood.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, it's all the maps are good. Like the gameplay is good. It's amazing looking on the Xbox X.
No, I bet.
DB walked me through some graphic settings that actually make it move that much faster.
Really?
Yeah. So it's interesting too. I wonder if those same settings, if applied to like Battlefront 2, would make Battlefront 2 better, because there was definitely some depth of field things that were changed that I wonder if Battlefront 2 would make that better.
For some reason, I didn't realize that you could modify video settings on like the Xbox, because you just would think that it would just be optimized for that specific hardware.
Well, it's in game, right? So you can change, like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can change in there. It's actually pretty cool.
Interesting, because again, you think they would just automatically set it to whatever the optimum settings are for graphics based on that hardware.
You would think, but all the hardware is different, so there's probably all these different baselines. Because Xbox X still isn't the baseline.
But that's the best one available.
It is, but everyone else is downtuning to that. But
True.
well, they're probably saying the best one available is the PC version.
Well, yeah. Oh, that's true, because yeah, it's probably like one core game that they ported to all
Right.
these other systems.
Because
so.
it's you're playing against every other platform. PlayStation.
Oh, cross-platform play.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. It's so you're playing in the same lobby. You'll be with somebody playing PC or PlayStation or everyone.
I don't know if I'd like playing against PC players, but
It's honestly this like I said, there hasn't been a situation, and I've been playing for a little over a week now, where I've gotten into it and been like, I'm just getting blown out because this guy is so much better.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a lot of optimization for like to make it, evened out.
okay.
So it's just, look, I play Call of Duty for one reason and we're gonna skate to one song only.
Play that same song.
I'm only there to have 15 minutes, maybe a half hour of shooting people in the face, and then I've got to do something else. I got to get something else done, or I have a couple hours, or it's the middle of the night and I can't sleep, and I just need to burn off some energy. That's what I'm using it for.
Yeah.
So I just needed to satisfy that need. All the other shit is just, extra. There's a lot of other people that appreciate that shit a lot more than I do.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm not the target audience.
That's interesting. Yeah, Dragon Buddy in the chat saying that the field of view defaults to 90 degrees, whereas 120 you can open it up more to see. Huh. I'll be damned.
Yeah. So, yeah. The other thing that happened this weekend, and again, not to bring it down too much, and I don't want to dwell on this, but it definitely is something that I saw and it fucking affected me all weekend, was the B-17 P-63 midair that happened down in Dallas.
Yes, which, by the way, I was at Dallas Fort Worth when
Yeah.
that happened.
So fucking,
And the pilot mentioned something when we boarded too, after our long delay, about that incident and all that.
I knew Jason was flying, out of Dallas. Like, we were texting back and forth while he was at the airport, and I was doing something on the computer, and I saw the pop up on my phone about a midair Dallas, and, just doing a quick glance at it. I'm like, oh fuck, right? So, thinking the worst immediately. I jumped right into the first article I saw, and it had one of the videos.
Yeah, a lot of videos out there of this.
Everyone knows I still work for the Air Force, and everyone probably also knows that has listened to this for a minute that, my field of expertise is aviation safety. In grad school for human factors related to aviation. So obviously have some subject matter expertise in this area. I am not going to say anything related to a causal or anything else. All I will say is that it's an absolute just tragedy.
Yeah. I think they said 7 people.
6. There was 6. 5 crew members on board the B-17, the Texas Raider, and Texas Raiders, and single pilot on the P-63. I saw a P-63 fly in the Mid-Atlantic World War II show that I was at earlier this year, back in June. They do these aerial demonstrations with these airplanes that were built, in the 40s and 50s. So. It's just a horrible thing for the families of the crews and for all those people that were there watching, because these are well attended events.
Oh yeah.
And I would hope that if you're somebody who just happens to be listening to this and may have saw it firsthand, there's if you have issues, I would definitely say bring it up with somebody. Like, you definitely want to talk about it, because it is a horrible thing to witness. And all I will say, and just to put a cap on that, is it definitely something that affected me, just because of all the views. And I've watched that video probably 300 times, because I'm doing like a analysis. Because I want to know what happens, like, at the structural level, because that's what my field is, right? So I watched it way too many times. And as aviators, obviously we have a certain place, we wore wings, we have thousands of hours.
Yep.
So it obviously kind of hits us in a certain place, but again, really, just prayers for the families of, the crew members involved, and for all the people that were there that saw it. And it is definitely something that, it's something that it'll be looked at thoroughly. One advantage, if you can call it that, after a tragedy like this, and like most air shows, is that there's a lot of video.
Yeah.
And one good thing from an accident investigation standpoint is all of those videos, while tragic and horrific, they all make investigating an accident that much easier.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Because provides a level of detail that is impossible to duplicate.
Yeah.
So, we'll fix it, and we'll make it better for the next time.
Yep.
And try and make sure that doesn't happen again. Unfortunately, a lot of rules of flying are written in blood.
Yeah.
And that's just it's kind of something they taught us as young aviators, and unfortunately it still holds true today.
Yeah, because so many of the rules that we have in place now are because of, unfortunately, previous incidents.
Yep.
Things that you probably don't know, or as just like casual flyers aren't aware of, but procedures and precautions that are in place are there because at some point in history something happened, and there was some kind of an incident. Now, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and keep in mind too that this was an air show. This is an air show with World War II airplanes that were doing a performance demonstration. This is not indicative of aviation safety in general. Like if
No,
you're
no,
boarding
no.
your American Airlines flight to go to DFW, this is not.
Yeah, this would never happen.
This is not. This has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
What calls into question as far as safety would be concerned is like how we're maintaining separation and doing certain things within the air show parameters. Like, so if you're going out to go fly, tomorrow, or don't, this is, while tragic, this does not affect
Commercial
your
flight,
commercial
yeah.
flying. It's just, they're two completely different things.
Now, talking about the air show aspect of this, if I could take this into an inappropriate direction for a second. Did you ever see that Chappelle stand up where he was talking about Siegfried and Roy? It was soon after Roy got bit by the tiger on stage, and he's talking about like, because let's be honest, you don't go to see Siegfried and Roy to see people be safe with a tiger. You show up to go, this motherfucker might get bit. So you kind of wonder if there's people like that. That's why they go to air shows. This motherfucker might crash. I wouldn't mind paying $39.99 to see that.
No, honestly, see, I think air shows aren't like that, generally speaking, just because of, like, these are photo opportunities, right? These are slow pass photo opportunities.
Sure.
Races, like air races, I could totally see that. Like, because they're doing maneuvers, everything's at high speed. It's just like a NASCAR race. You're just like, oh my god, this fucker's just bound to do something bad.
Yeah.
Whereas an accident in an air show is just, there's too much risk
Yeah.
with something like that, and that's why, like, you go to a air show like the Thunderbirds, for example. They're practicing that show every day, several times a day. They're practicing that particular show, and when they go to your town or your local airport to do an air show there, they're practicing that show several times before they actually do it with people there.
Sure. Yeah.
And there's a extreme level of fucking proficiency that goes into these air shows.
Yeah.
So military air shows with military pilots who have a high level of proficiency. Again, there's safety factors built into that. And not to say that there wasn't safety factors built into this as well. But like I said, I don't want to belabor it.
As we've been on for an hour and 3 minutes, and we've talked a lot more about flying than we have about Star Wars.
Facts. So it's for GeForce Racing 20. I cannot speak to what the aircraft would have had on them particularly.
Yeah, it's got to be an aircraft specific thing. And for the audio listeners, he asked in the chat, do these air shows, types of air shows, usually not have flight recorders?
So what'll happen is, from my understanding, is these aircraft are maintaining. If an airplane is going to maintain its normal November tail rating, right? So this is like a normal, even though it's a historic airplane, a lot of them maintain a normal flight rating, right? So they get their normal annuals, they get, which is their annual inspections, just like they would if it was a Cessna, right? So
Sure.
they're getting their normal inspection cycles, they're getting checked out and doing all this stuff that they're supposed to get done. They only have to have a certain level of avionics to be able to qualify to maintain that type rating. So you'll see, like, if you look at pictures, you go online and look at pictures of, like, the Yankee Lady is the one that was at the B-17 that was at the air show I was at in June. And look at the cockpit. You'll see there's, like, some modern avionics that's on the fucking instrument panel. And then you'll see all the original avionics. So that modern avionics suite is going to have, like, some embedded GPS and some other things. But actually having a digital flight data recorder is not going to be required, because there's a level of input from the flight control surfaces and everything else that's required to make a digital flight data recorder work. So the answer to your question is no, they won't have that. But
This is Dave teaches aircraft safety.
I could do an entire podcast just on that. But because of so many videos, and they'll pull the tapes from the air boss, and that was actually doing the air traffic controlling for the show. They'll pull those tapes. They'll have the radar pictures of everything. They'll be able to get a really clear picture of what was going on. And honestly, there's a lot of just simple math that goes into like calculating speeds and everything else. Like it's one of the reasons we have to know math for, you know, for this field. It's like I need to be able to calculate within this parabola.
If a plane leaves this runway at this speed,
Right.
going in this direction, and another plane leaves,
Right, and then
and then they collide,
yes,
what happens?
bad stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough on that. if you want to have a Dave Talks Aviation podcast, we can have that conversation later.
Yeah.
But I've got Monday Night Football tonight.
Yes.
Hence, I'm wearing my Eagles.
Monday Night Football on NBC.
It's on ABC.
On ABC.
You say it wrong every time too. It's so funny. But yeah, I got Monday Night Football tonight. So, yeah, I'm done with my week. I don't know if IVOG made it the whole way.
Yeah. So we are going to take a break before we go into our main topic because someone has to piss.
Yes. You know what? I should probably go too.
Yeah, because again, as I said earlier in the broadcast, I do pee a lot, and because I've been drinking soda because of toast and everything. So anyway, we're gonna take a very quick break and then get to the Star Wars comics after this very quick word from our sponsors.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're first time listeners, sorry. This is fairly typical of our show. Our first hour is sidebar of the Sidebar Cantina, and then the second hour is usually the Star Wars and or other topic. So yeah, I mean if I had the bandwidth, I'd love to do an aviation related podcast. I just don't know how. I don't know. There's a lot to. There's a lot to digest. Like I would need somebody to be able to, like, be the Jason of that podcast. You know, kind of like prompt me with like, okay, we need questions and Q&A, and Rick, remind us when we come back, or maybe I'll leave that up on the screen or something. We'll come back to that. It should have been in the beginning, but this has been a busy show already. Hey, we didn't mention anything about Kevin Conroy.
So here's the deal, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of heat for this. I never gave a shit about Batman animated stuff, ever. Never cared about it when it was, the series on TV, any of the animated movies. Didn't really play any of the Arkham games.
I didn't either, but he's a good voice actor.
Oh yeah, it's like nothing against him. I have no problem with him or any of the Batman animated stuff. It's just not my thing, and I wasn't sad when he died. I mean, he was young. That was the saddest part. He was like 66. Like, fuck, that's like 20 years from now for me. I'd like to live longer than 20 more years. I'm shooting for 96. That's the goal, but we'll see. And me too. You mean you weren't that big into the Batman animated stuff? And again, nothing against it. I know so many people loved it, like absolutely loved it. I just didn't care. I just really didn't care. And I was much more intrigued by Mark Hamill being the voice of Joker and all of that stuff, because I didn't know it at first. I don't think I heard about it until a couple years into it. Like, oh yeah, Mark Hamill does the voice of Joker, which is cool. But again, just not my cup of tea. And Gallagher, I loved Gallagher's stand-up specials from the 80s and early 90s. Because it was such a funny gimmick with the fucking hammer, but it was more than just the hammer. Like, that was like his big finale. He'd just get all the shit up there and just fucking pound it with the hammer. But he did a lot of other physical, visual comedy leading up to that. A lot of like stand-up, a lot of stand-up routines, and he had some that played like all the fucking time. It was the same specials that would get played on like fucking Comedy Central and VH1.
He was like, Gallagher was famous for he was one of the first guys to do stand up like on Showtime. Like he was he was one of the first cable fucking like stand up hours.
Yeah, and he was like a pre-Carrot Top. You know, Carrot Top went with the same kind of gimmick with like
this is way pre Carrot Top. This
well,
is
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
like fucking Carrot Top is by no means the
but
the litmus test of
yeah,
that.
but like 80s and early 90s Gallagher was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my parents actually went and saw him when he was in Philly.
Yeah.
I think I remember.
Prop comedy. Thank you, Frederick. That's the word I was looking for. Comedy.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he had a whole stand-up show, and then he finished with the fucking watermelons.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Chappelle. I don't know which was it in season 2.
Black
Chappelle?
Gallagher, bitch.
Yeah.
Black Gallagher don't go out like no bitch with a mallet.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, I think that was the second season.
Yeah. Anyway.
Are you ready to smash some fruit? But at the same time, that was kind of dead on too. That impersonation.
I wonder if Gallagher Gallagher was touring right up until COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was like, so whatever got him quickly.
Yeah.
Like I didn't see what it.
Well, let's find out. Let's roll that tape. Gallagher cause of death. Very morbid episode today.
This part won't make the podcast.
No. Organ failure after years of bad health. Ugh. Okay.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, indeed. All right. Well,
Ready?
if you're ready to get back to it, yeah, hit the countdown and we will get rolling.
Colt 45. It's a dynamite taste.
Already played that.
And now.
And we're back. Oh, shit. So,
Are we?
apparently. So, Star Wars comics. We talked about the Vader comics that also took place between Empire and Jedi about a month or so ago. And
About a month ago.
figured we might as well delve into the Star Wars ones too, because I know the last time they did this with the Vader and the Star Wars comics that took place between New Hope and Empire, they had a lot of crossover.
Right.
A lot of crossover. And
It only works if you make the noise with it.
I know. And because, the people listening to the audio have no idea what the fuck's going on. There you go. So, we're going to dive into these first 6 issues because this is all one story. It's called The Destiny Path.
Woo.
And we're going to just kind of break it down, see if it was worth it, and go from there.
God damn it. They don't make it easy to fucking go back.
No, that's one thing. We talk about Marvel Unlimited because that's where we read these. Marvel Unlimited, you pay that $10 a month. You get to read all the fucking comics that are like 3 months old or older, as much as you want. But you can't navigate very easily with it. Like there's no fucking scroll bar at the top where you can just go brrr and skip right from the end to the beginning.
Nope.
You got to like swipe fucking 30 times to get from the end to the beginning. It's a pain in the balls. But so anyway, this
just getting between books is a pain in the fucking nuts.
Indeed. And one of the things about these comics that I always key in on is the artwork, right? Because this is a visual form of entertainment more than a novel where you can just picture it in your mind. You're given the visuals. And if the visuals that you get are trash, then it affects your whole experience. Now, with this, I was concerned to start because this fucking cover for this issue number 1, Luke is dead center. So you immediately focus on him when you look at this cover.
Right.
And the artwork looks fucking terrible on the Luke face in this fucking, on this cover. I'm like, oh boy, we might be in for a bit of a treat. But then if you look at the Leia and the Lando, they're actually pretty good. And quite frankly, I think the artwork in all of these it's decent.
Me personally,
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to get to the fucking screen so that I could show it.
Yeah.
But it's being a real bitch right now. Mm-hmm. I liked how they drew Leia.
Yeah,
Especially
she was spot on.
Like they drew her almost perfect, but it was soft to the point where it was like they didn't try and put so much detail into her face that like it overdid it.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. Like it just looked at it, I was like, wow, man, that she is,
Yep.
right, making a run at the fucking title.
Yeah.
You know, based on this drawing, because it immediately like kind of brings you into that year.
Oh, sure.
Right? When she's in her fucking hot outfits and all that.
And so these books came out starting January of 2020. So these first 6 issues, and it's weird the way they were spread out because normally comics are like once a month. But when you think about it, here's when these came out. First, January 1st was the first issue.
Okay.
Then January 29th was the second issue. So about a month in between.
Sure.
4 weeks. Then the next one was February 26th. So again, about 4 weeks. Then the next one was March 18th, 2020. So we're still a month apart on everything. But then after March 18th, 2020, we had a mysterious gap of March, April, May, June, July, August. 5 months.
Wow.
And between, it's like weird. What happened? What happened in March of 2020 that like
know.
caused like this 5-month gap?
right around St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
It is weird. We might have to go back and see if anything was going on in the world at the time.
In this day in the world.
Yeah, because there was this weird, mysterious 5-month gap between issues 4 and 5 of this.
It's kind of crazy.
Yep, and then 6 weeks after issue 5,
6 weeks later.
issue 6 came out.
Yeah, for some reason it just keeps popping into my fucking dome.
It's pretty good though. So these came out over the course of 2020, and some interesting timely notes regarding some of the happenings in this. And to get it started, like this first issue takes place essentially during Empire Strikes Back, because you get that moment where they rescue Luke from the bottom of Cloud City. And
Right.
he's got the fucking stump for an arm.
Right.
And then by the end, right before the end credits roll, he's getting his fucking hand. Through this whole first issue, no fucking hand. So this all takes place in that timeline, because now we're seeing stuff that you don't see in between when they fucking left Cloud City and in between when he's talking to Lando on the comm going, all right, we'll meet you at the rendezvous point at Tatooine.
Right.
You know? So this issue fills in that gap a little bit.
Yeah. And I'll start straight off by spoilers, by the way.
Oh, spoiler alert. Come on. You should know us by now.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of silly. Like, how will we not talk about spoilers?
Yeah.
But
Well,
just,
I mean, I
just
guess
so nobody could say like, "Oh my God, you're spoiling the whole thing." It's not like these are only 2 years old. I mean, what could but they could I just got Marvel Unlimited because you told me to get it. Now I can't even read this comic.
So sidebar on that. So it's well documented that I've never seen the show Breaking Bad. But at some point, I'd probably want to see it because I've heard nothing but good stuff about it. And anytime
And you look like Walter White.
Right, and I've heard that many times over the years. And but anytime anybody starts talking about it, I'm like, wait, no spoilers. I haven't seen it yet. And of course, they're like, what the fuck, man? It's like 8 years old or however long it is. It's probably more than that now. But
Yeah, this is the picture. I'm like,
yeah, it's hard to see.
it's a little bit washed out. Oh, that's a little better.
Yeah, shoot it at an angle there. But yeah, no. So, I'm that asshole that's like, oh, don't talk about fucking Breaking Bad spoilers. They're like, it's been over for years. Come
know.
on.
Like, come on, man. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm that asshole. So yes, spoiler alert.
Yes.
For these
There you go.
comics.
We have warned you.
Yeah, and it immediately starts off with a bit of a recap of Luke and Vader's fight. the cutting off of the hand, the I am your father, no, and we're seeing it in sort of a flashback format. And then we hop right to the Millennium Falcon, and there's Luke just sitting there, just kind of sulking,
Right.
with again fucking stump for an arm.
Right. We're gonna put this solo cup on the end of your fucking hands.
Pretty much, yeah. Just fucking cover that up. We don't want to look at your
it
fucking bloody
smells.
stump. Yeah.
Gonna get gangrene all over the place.
And they're yelling about what they're gonna do next, whether or not they go and rejoin the fleet, whether they go after Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Where? To try to get Han Solo. And this is interesting because they actually mention by name Slave One in this issue.
Right. Well,
So
this is 2020.
Yes, this is 2020 before
Right.
all the stuff happened that caused them to drop the name Slave One.
This is the old days.
Yeah.
The old days of 2020.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
When
on
times
stilts.
were different.
It's the fucking just
And
stop it.
This could be the last time in Star Wars canon that it's actually referred to as Slave One. Just saying. I mean, it's just a unique observation. No matter how you feel about the subject, it's are you rubbing Babu for
Yes. I'm trying to calm down. I'm gonna go ahead and tap Babu on the head.
give him a little tap, taparoo.
We need a little remote fucking hey.
Hey! And
If only we had a drop. I want to do this. There we go.
sorry,
Jesus Christ.
I'm laser focused on what's going on right now. And yeah, so they're on the Falcon, kind of arguing about what to do next. And at this point, Leia and Chewie still don't fucking trust Lando
Yeah,
at
no
all.
shit.
Yeah, because
Why would they?
Right, because it was like fucking 20 minutes ago at this point when Lando is like breaking them free and everything. But right before that, he fucking had turned them over to the Empire and all the other bullshit had gone down.
So in this first one, this episode 1 or book 1, where how Lando interacts with Chewie and Leia, I thought this is where I thought we were going to like, oh wow, this is actually starting off pretty good because I don't. This is canon,
yes,
right?
Yeah,
It's
for all intents and purposes, this is considered
right.
canon.
This is canon, and we're gonna talk about stuff that has no. You would think that it would have some fucking relevance in canon, like in canon that you know about,
Sure.
but you don't,
Yeah.
and it's disappointing because stuff like this totally believable. Like, yeah, I believe this conversation would happen on the Falcon, and how Lando and Chewbacca are fucking interacting, because you get this interacting with Lando and Chewbacca when Lando's like, all right. You know, fucking Chewbacca's yelling at him. Like, this is the same shit. This is the direct continuation of that fucking thing. And I like that idea. I like the idea of this is a comic showing us like this extra 10 minutes of scene that we weren't going to get.
Right,
otherwise.
because if you think about it in the context of Empire, right? They fucking they swoop down, they get Luke, and they're out of there. Next thing you know, they're at the fucking fleet. Luke's getting his robotic hand, and he's like, "Oh, hey, Lando, my buddy, my good friend," you know. And they're just all buddy. It's like, don't forget, this is the fucking asshole that just sold you out. So this kind of fills in
Who's
that
wearing
gap.
Han's clothes?
Yeah, which we never got an explanation, not even in these comics about that.
Nope,
It's
he's
like,
wearing Han's clothes. It's like starts in these comics. He's got the outfit on. Oh, apparently he opened up the fucking Lando closet.
yeah.
You
He's
know,
like, oh, my capes are all gone.
That's like, fuck, these stupid outfits are, god damn it. Oh, I guess I'm putting this on.
yeah,
I'm going to make this look good, god damn it.
yeah.
It's a dynamite taste.
Yeah, so but anyway, yeah, this does kind of help us realize that Lando wasn't just welcomed with open fucking arms.
No.
You know,
And as he should, he should be like, yeah, we're going to fucking keep an eye on you because you're a swindler and a con man.
Yeah.
And you fucking sold us out to Darth Vader, you prick.
yep.
Like, why would we trust you?
And
Oh my god, oh my god.
what?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
All right. Something in the chat?
Now I'm gonna type it here.
Okay.
So you can see it. Just continue.
All right. And yeah, they eventually decide that they're going to try to rejoin with the rebel fleet. And we go to this section where I guess for OPSEC purposes, they break the fleet up into a bunch of different spots. And this one spot where they were about to go, the Empire is like fucking bearing down on this segment of the fleet. They fucking found them. They set up this fucking blockade. Shit's going down, and the rebels are taking heavy fucking losses. So
Look at the notes.
what notes?
Show notes.
Oh, reactor. Okay, I understand why you wouldn't say that on the air. That's good. Oh, and now you've thrown off my train of thought. All right, so yeah,
I
no,
knew it would.
they get to this fucking this blockade, and they're getting the shit kicked out of them, and they've got this fucking admiral. No, she's not an admiral. She's commander. I wrote it down. Fuck. Commander Zara.
Zara, yeah.
Yes. Who's a crack shot, by the way. She loves to manually take control of the fucking guns. And
Yeah.
she's a fucking
Yeah,
gets.
she's got her hair slicked back,
Yeah.
you know, very Phasma-esque
Yeah.
with her
yeah.
hair slicked back like that.
So, but yeah, she's kind of in charge of this this Imperial section that set up this blockade and everything. And they're.
Blockade is perfectly legal.
Yes, it was. And, we need that as a drop.
Blockade is perfectly legal.
And as part of this rebel fleet are Poe's parents, Poe Dameron's parents.
Yes.
Shara Bay and whatever the fuck the dad's name is. Because Shara is an
Mr.
A-wing.
Dameron.
Yes, Mr. Dameron. But Shara is an A-wing pilot. And, you know, we're introduced to these characters in the Shattered Empire comics.
Yep.
That came out before Force Awakens. And as far,
Which were really good and lost in the sauce, as it were, with the fucking the movies.
Yeah, but they were good, and that's where Poe's parents were introduced, and now we get to see them again as part of the rebellion, and it was just kind of good seeing them again. It's for those of us who pay attention
Right.
to all of this extra shit. We have that moment like the Leo meme where we're
Exactly.
you're pointing at the screen.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, so they set up this blockade. They're taking heavy losses, and then the Falcon shows up.
Operation Get Behind the Darkies.
What?
Operation Get Behind the Darkies.
Where did that
Will suffer heavy losses.
Oh, yeah. It's from a movie.
From
South Park.
South Park.
I don't know where that
Fucking Windows 98. Crypto Gates in here.
Have you ever heard of the Emancipation Proclamation?
I don't listen to hip hop.
Anyway, so the Falcon shows up and tries to help these guys get the fuck out of there. They kind of set up a trap where they get all these the TIE fighters, which, you know, Dave and TIE fighters, you could see those, and you could see the
Giant
pilots.
raging hard on.
And they've got this like fucking trail of TIE fighters following them. And at this point, Luke's got like fucking PTSD because you got to remember, he just fucking fought Vader and lost his hand and found he was his father
Right.
like an hour ago.
Yep.
And now we're in this fucking big space battle.
Yeah, he's having the fucking what is it? What's that fucking song that they play? Fuck.
That song that they play.
They play with the fucking meme with the PTSD, like with the helicopters.
Oh, is there a song that goes with that? I've only seen with like the dog that's just got the wide eyes and you see the helicopters and shit going on in the background.
Fuck. Damn it.
Chat, can you help us out? Put
Oh.
Dave to
Oh, God, put Dave down.
Yeah, well, we should put Dave down. But
Yeah, Dave should be put down.
he's gonna continue living. Good night, Saigon. I don't know what that is.
No, well, I know what that is, but no, that's
All right, can we continue?
yeah.
All right.
You didn't need to stop. But my brain...
You were the one who started us on this.
Loud noises.
Anyway, so Luke's got some PTSD going, but they're like, "Well, fuck, we need you. You
That's
know,
what started it.
get on a gun." And Luke's like on the fucking guns, and he's got one hand,
like,
trying to fucking
This
shoot.
isn't easy with one hand.
Yeah, and so at one point he's just like, "You know what? Fuck it." and uses the fucking force and just like causes all the fucking TIE pilots to just like ram into each other.
Right.
Like, so he kind of like mind controls like all of the fucking TIE pilots at once and just fucking
Suddenly unleashes the force into all of these things, which I was a little like, that's a little much.
yeah.
It's a little much out of fucking farm boy to utilize this much power.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it if he's tapping into some fucking anger, like, you know, being pissed off and losing his fucking hand, and he's got I want to say Forgotten Son, but that's not.
Oh my god, are you still on that fucking song?
Yes.
Oh my god.
It will not end until it's satisfied, Jason.
Oh my god, you need to let it go, man.
No, Jason.
We're still on the first comic.
This is me we're talking about. There's
I
no
know.
letting it go. If that were possible,
I need to make that as a drop. Let it go. Let it
God,
go.
you'd be playing it all the fucking time.
So anyway, with the help of the Falcon, they break a hole in the fucking blockade, and you know what ships are left from this thing, they're able to get the fuck out of Dodge. Then fucking Zara has to call Vader and let him know that she, you know, fucked up, and also that the Millennium Falcon was there, and this is where Vader issues the orders: don't touch that fucking ship.
Right.
You know, it's got precious cargo, obviously referring to Luke.
Right.
And then after that, we find out that they cracked the rebels' fucking communication codes.
Right. They had the Enigma machine.
Yeah.
Fucking crack the old codes there.
Yeah. So now apparently, anytime they go to fucking transmit, the Empire is fucking there.
See, where's your fucking? This is where you know what? This is where I kind of have issue with like how the rebels. I get it. Like, all right, your codes are broken. The Empire is not like being. We're watching Andor right now, right? Where the ISB, which is mentioned in these comics,
Yep.
by the way.
Yeah, they did mention it at least once.
You have the ISB, which is clever enough to fucking. All right, we're going to kill the pilot of this thing, but we're going to make it look like an accident, and we're going to use the subterfuge to do this and do that. Like, I would think that they'd be able to hide their code breaking better than this at this point in the rebellion.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like this is kind of like more overt than it needs to be. But this was also 2020, right? This is.
Yeah, they.
I don't know. I think we have the benefit of watching Andor and like this storyline, and then I'm like applying some stuff to it, just like I would apply Legends materials to this. So I'm being a little nitpicky for stuff like that. It's because it's a comic book too, so I don't have much else to go on.
Right.
I only have a few blurbs to like, and now I'm left to fill in the blanks with the fucking song that I can't remember.
So anyway, to close out this book, you know, Luke has like been trying to call out to fucking Obi-Wan. He's trying to call out to Yoda. He's trying to call out to Yoda at the end of this, because he's having all this like fucking self-doubt. Basically, what the fuck am I gonna do with myself if I can't be a Jedi? And he's all pissed. He fucking uses the Force to like break a window, which is not really very safe because he's standing like right at a fucking viewport looking
Right.
out into space.
Yeah, like this is
So-
a really good way to get sucked out of the fucking viewport. Fortunate son.
Okay. Did you feel better?
Little.
All right, very good. So yeah, basically he's just like he's sitting there downing himself, talking to R2, and basically says like, "What the fuck am I going to do with myself if I can't be a Jedi?" So, and that's kind of where we left that one off at.
Yep.
So it was. Why are you doing this? Why are you the way that you are?
I don't know why are we so tinny all of a sudden?
I know for me it was because I was a little bit away from the.
Is that what it is?
So yeah, do I sound like that right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because I was away from the microphone.
Ah.
So, good lesson to not be away from the microphone. Issue number 2. We're still with the fleet. Lando is still trying to convince everyone that they can trust him. He's like, "Hey, trust me." It's like, yeah, okay. And then Leia starts having flashbacks. So the first issue, Luke was having flashbacks about his fight with Vader and all that. Now Leia is having flashbacks of fucking Han, getting frozen in carbonite, saying "I know." It's a pretty good panel where she's having those fucking visions. And then Lando and Chewie decide we're gonna go back to Tatooine, our fucking home away from home. We're going back to Tatooine once again.
Yep. Because reasons.
Something's got to happen. We're gonna find out like later on that Tatooine was like this massive hub of the Force. Maybe like that's where the fucking Force was discovered or where it originated from or something. Because we go back to that fucking planet so many goddamn times in this fucking canon.
Yeah.
And granted, it was important. I understand its importance, but fuck.
But
Tatooine again.
That's the, you know what? It's the sand is very easy to, like, I don't know. It's very easy. Like if you're going to have a set.
Yeah, to
like,
film.
What do we need?
We need a desert.
Yeah, here's a big field of sand.
Yeah, we got plenty of that.
Yep. Cool. Done.
Yeah. Where do you want to go? You want to go to Arizona? You want to go to that desert? You want to
Right.
go to Nevada? You want to go to that desert? We can go back to Tunisia if you really want.
Yeah, it's an easy shooting location. Nobody wants to be there. Nobody's going to bother you.
Yeah. Actors probably don't want to be there either.
No, fuck, no. I know. I never wanted to be there when we were there.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah. So Lando and Chewie decide they're going to go to Tatooine because at this point they don't know where the fuck Boba Fett is.
Boba Fett.
Where? Well, and that's exactly what they're saying. They're like, where? Because they don't know if he's already delivered Han to Jabba. They don't know where the fuck he is. So the plan A is, all right, we're going to go ahead to Tatooine, see if he's already there, see if he fucking dropped off Han, and then, come up with a plan from that point.
Well, I mean, Lando wanted to go. He wanted to go by himself, but they weren't fucking having that. Why?
You all right?
I was having the same issue you
Oh,
are.
just navigating. I found that, like, putting it vertical is far better because it'll just show you one page at a time, and that's the best way to flip through these fucking things when you're looking at them on an iPad.
First world problems. No, see,
Indeed.
it's still trying to fucking.
Well, you got to double tap the fucking the thing, and then it'll. It's like you're changing modes.
You're a double tap.
I don't know what that means.
You know exactly what that means.
Do I?
Why is?
Are you okay?
No, I'm never okay, Jason.
That is true. Like
it's such a loaded question. Why do people keep asking me that?
Why do people keep thinking I have a mental problem?
Why do people keep asking me that? I'm not okay. I'm never okay.
Are you ready to resume?
I never was not ready.
Bullshit!
You keep stopping.
Because I'm watching you finger fuck your goddamn iPad.
I don't know why you're
and
watching
grunting in fucking frustration. It's very distracting.
You're easily distracted.
So? That doesn't take away from the... Never mind. You know what? So they go back to Tatooine, fucking intercepted by more of your favorite fucking TIE fighters. So, yeah, they get there and they're like, uh-oh, we're fucked. And then these locals swoop in. The fucking... The dudes. The fucking... The species. These guys. These fucking guys. What species is that?
Oh, the fucking
The guys from Jabba's palace.
Weequay.
Weequays. Yes, thank you.
Oh, I got that one. Couldn't get Fortunate Son, but I got that one.
Pulled that shit out of his ass. So yeah, they show up, they fucking shoot down the ties, and they're like, oh, yay, Millennium Falcon. Hey, we know who you are. You're coming with us. Because they think it's Han Solo still.
Like, no, it's not me.
Yeah. And then Lando gets on there, and he's like trying to sweet talk them, and he does like a little mic drop moment with his fucking headset. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Because he convinces them basically that he's
A dynamite taste.
Yes, exactly. Then we go back to the fleet. We're still there with fucking Leia and Poe's parents. And they're still trying to come up with some kind of a plan because at this point they're like, well, do we fucking go back and try to like communicate with all of these fucking scattered sections of the fleet and risk all of us getting attacked by the Empire? Or do we just fucking leave them there and fucking just disperse? Like, what the fuck do we do? So
Right.
they're still trying to come up with a plan at this point.
Russians don't take a dump without a plan.
Really?
Hunt for October.
I've never seen that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're really not into the like that adventure. Not adventure. I don't even know what genre
Like
that is.
spy. Well, like, I've never seen the Mission Impossibles.
Right.
Never seen a Bond movie. Never seen Hunt for Red October. None of the Jack Ryan movies.
Right.
So yeah, that type of. What genre is that? That's
I don't
like
even know. No, I'm saying it out loud. I don't have any idea what
it's like
genre it is.
spy / military drama. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's one.
I don't know. There's a lot of good one-liners though, because Sean Connery's in it. I'm a Scottish Russian officer,
Scottish Russian officer. I love it.
just like I'm a Scottish Spaniard
Yes.
and a Highlander.
And so anyway, Lando gets to Jabba's palace. He's trying to get some information from him, trying to figure out if he has Han. But then Jabba basically holds him hostage, and Lando has to offer information. And it's alluded to, so we don't actually get to see what he says, but it's alluded to that Lando is going to give Jabba a bunch of fucking rebel intel. And I don't think we ever see this kind of come to fruition in these first 6 episodes. But we see later on that he does fucking let him go. And yeah, we never find out what the fuck he told Jabba. So I'm assuming it's something that we'll find out later on. But yeah, for now, it's kind of a mystery. And this is where Lando's in fucking Han's outfit. And we go back to Lando talking to Luke, and now Luke has his fucking his hand back.
Right.
So now Luke has his fucking hand, and Lando comes up to him and basically says, "Hey, need to go to Cloud City. I bet I know where I can find your lightsaber that you lost." And he's being very suspicious about needing to go back to fucking Cloud City and all that. And we'll get into more of that in the later issues. And then Luke has this fucking weird vision of his lightsaber falling down the big room where he fought Vader, and this cloaked fucking woman grabbing it out of thin air and saying, "Follow your destiny." And it's Skywalker, follow your destiny. And that's where this one ends.
Right.
So it was of all the issues, this was kind of like the biggest just anything.
Right. Just Lando being Lando.
Yeah,
and
a lot of talking in this one. Nothing too terribly exciting. So that's that.
Yep.
Moving into the third issue, it starts off with that Commander Zara destroying more of the Rebel fleet, and she keeps mentioning her mentor that that brought her up and had the confidence in her when she had a lot of stuff working against her, apparently, according to this other dude that she's there with. And this Star Destroyer that they're in is called the Tarkin's Will. And it's a Star Destroyer that was at DS1 when it exploded and got fucking thwacked by some of the debris.
Right.
It wasn't completely destroyed. And when she was given command of a ship, she said she wanted that fucking Star Destroyer, which was it had a name before that. I didn't write down the name, but it was a named Star Destroyer that got damaged, and she wanted that repaired, and she renamed it to the Tarkin's Will because, we're kind of led to believe that Tarkin was her, this mentor that she keeps referring to. Then we have the crew, our old friends, returning to Cloud City, going back to Bespin.
Yep.
It's Luke, Lando, and Leia, and R2, and they're going in, and at first they're like, about to get shot down by the fucking local security.
Like you do, because anybody who shows up to Cloud City gets treated like total shit, apparently.
As we learned in Empire. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But Lando's like, "Hey, it's me, fuckers." And they deactivated all the fucking defense turrets and everything because Lando still has all the codes that apparently the Empire didn't change.
Because why would you?
Right.
Which, I mean, honestly, when you're kind of the dominant thing in the area, you're like, nobody's gonna use these codes. We're fucking.
Yeah, it was a backdoor. He had a backdoor programmed in.
It's
So, yeah, when they get there, they split up into 3 groups, right? Because they each have their own agenda. Luke's looking for his lightsaber. Leia is looking for something that she doesn't really tell us until we get further in. And then Lando is also looking for something, which I think I can't remember what he said that he was trying to do, but he never actually mentioned Lobot. But the reason that he's going back is to free Lobot.
Right.
You know, the old bald guy with the fucking
Right.
the mechanical hairline.
The headgear on.
Yeah. So yeah, he goes to fucking free Lobot. Luke's looking around for his lightsaber. He's looking in the fucking the garbage heap, which there's a lot of fucking garbage.
Yeah.
And a lot of Ugnaughts, but no lightsaber. And then Leia, come to find out, she is looking for a way to properly thaw stuff that's frozen in carbonite. She's looking for the fucking sequence. So now, when we fast forward to Return of the Jedi and she fucking lowers Han's thing and just boop, 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 she knows exactly what sequence to push the fucking buttons.
Right. Because Google didn't exist.
Right. And, you know, it's weird because they do this a lot where they try to explain everything in this extra canon, and be it the novels, the comics, whatever. They try to come up with an explanation for everything. And I think it's a lot of the times they're just stretching for content. And it's like, did we really need to see Leia learning the fucking defrost sequence of the fucking carbonite?
No, absolutely not. I mean, you get cool imagery, you know, of Leia in carbonite.
Oh, well, yeah,
I
that
mean,
comes at the end.
That's a cool fucking thing. You know, when they catch her, but I'm skipping ahead, but not very far, because basically stormtroopers catch her in the fucking carbonite chamber, and the protocol is basically if they catch, you know, activists or political prisoners or whatever, put them in carbonite, fucking load them up. They're gonna fucking do whatever it is they do to them.
Yeah.
So they see Leia, like, nope, she's resisting. Fuck her.
Stop resisting. Yeah. She gets shot again. She loves getting shot by those stun blasts. Yeah. And they fucking put her ass in carbonite. Lando is working to free Lobot while Luke is looking for fucking his lightsaber. So the last shot that we get, and I'm going to hold this up to the video, but the last shot we get is that one that you were alluding to, Leia being fucking frozen in carbonite. Da-da-da-da.
So my problem with this is that you would think that Leia being frozen in carbonite at some point, that's kind of a big deal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's like, holy shit. Like, if I was playing Trivial Pursuit and that'd be a mic drop fucking question for some Star Wars nerd.
Yeah, like which non-Star Wars character was also frozen in carbonite or non-Han Solo? What did I say?
You said non-Star Wars,
Non-Solo.
which would have been interesting, but it's like, I don't know how you would make that happen, but okay.
Yeah. Non-Han Solo character, I wanted to say.
Right. Which that there's a bunch of answers for that because we have the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you'd frame the question, but it's kind of a big deal. And her being in carbonite like this, I'm just like, fuck. This is kind of where you step off into this area where you're not just telling a story, you're making a big story.
Yeah.
And
which they probably felt like they needed to. Because some of this shit is a little boring.
Yeah, I guess. But it's not big for very long, as we come to find out in the next.
Well, and what's great is we get this great bait and switch, because we get this fucking cover for the next issue, for issue 4, of fucking Vader looking over a frozen Leia in carbonite, and you're like, oh shit, how's she gonna get out of this one? Spoiler alert: Vader never sees her in carbonite.
Nope.
Yeah, that never fucking happens. So that was a total bait and switch for this fucking issue. All the while, we mentioned that Lando was trying to free, and we're in the next issue, by the way. We're in the issue 4. Lando's trying to free Lobot, getting fucking just like surrounded by stormtroopers, and he keeps calling out to Luke. It's like, hey, I need help. You know,
Luke's like, I'm fucking in the trash looking for this fucking lightsaber.
Yeah, and like no sense of urgency on Luke as Lando's being just like fucking surrounded by stormtroopers, and he's like, "Fuck, help me!" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there. I gotta keep looking, you know."
Yeah, you got yourself into this fucking mess.
Yeah,
you get yourself out.
So he basically uses Lobot to help him get out of the mess. Like they release all these fucking gas filters and all this other shit going on. You can read the book to get the details on that.
Right.
But
unrefined Tabana gas. Like
Yeah.
basically it was Lando's last fuck you to the Empire, but like, yeah, this is all unrefined. It'd take the Empire fucking forever and a day to fucking re-refine it. So
Yeah, and they did have a cool part where they controlled all these fucking mouse droids, and they had like a half dozen mouse droids. I'll go over to those stormtroopers and then just fucking like light them up with electricity. That was kind of funny.
yeah,
But
or it wasn't.
right. Either way, Luke's still looking for the fucking lightsaber. He's trying to talk to these goddamn Ugnaughts, not getting anywhere with it.
Because they don't understand him. He doesn't understand them.
Yeah. Now this is a cool. The next panel is really cool because he starts like trying to use the Force, and he has some visions.
Excuse me.
And he has visions basically of the future. Like he has visions of a couple of spots in Return of the Jedi where it's like Vader going, "You cannot hide forever, Luke," and Palpatine saying, "Take your weapon."
Strike me down.
Yeah, intermixed with that fucking cloaked figure that he saw grab the lightsaber. Also intermixed with what I thought this was the coolest part, Leia frozen in fucking carbonite calling out to Luke.
Right.
And I'm like, ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's
that was good. It had like I said, it had its moments.
yeah,
for
so
sure.
yeah, she's frozen in carbonite. She's got that fucking look on her face, like ah, and you know she's calling Luke. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, they Luke finally goes to fucking help Lando. Eventually, and then they both go to the fucking floor where they've got all the people frozen in carbonite because Leia's not the only one that they have.
Right, they got a pile of fucking carbonite people
Yeah.
just like laying around.
Yeah,
And
mostly
you got-
Lando's people.
And you got stormtroopers fucking standing around doing stormtrooper things like, I wonder if they're cold in there.
Oh, I even wrote a note about that. And one of the troopers even mentioned during this issue, like, "Oh, that's above my pay grade."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yes,
Yes, this is
How many times have we said that in our military careers?
I think I said that 3 times today.
Yeah, that's above my pay grade.
Empire stuff. Lots of Empire
Lots of
stuff.
Empire
And I'm gonna
stuff.
do this Empire stuff over here.
Yeah.
Stormtroopers doing stormtrooper things is really what it
Yeah,
comes down
that
to.
and that's the shit I love to see. Just them just being like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Right.
I don't know anything. I'm just a fucking grunt, just sitting here guarding this fucking chick sickle.
Yeah,
who's-
and honestly, like this panel here where you got the stormtroopers are pushing Leia onto the table with my iPad. Yeah.
I'm sure it's fine. iPad's quite durable these days.
So, and this is where they're talking about her with the USB.
Yeah,
Or-
or the ISB.
the USB. With the ISB. Like,
Though
yeah,
I-
by the
I
time
bet-
the ISB's through with her, she'll tell them every last secret she's got.
Yeah.
So I like the reference to the ISB there because that's one of my favorite things about Andor is the fucking incorporation of the ISB into this.
Yeah.
Like, yes, fucking. Oh, God, I'm such an Empire nerd.
'cause-
I just fuck the rebellion.
Yeah, they're quite boring, honestly. Anyway, we go back to Luke on the fucking floor with all the carbonite people. He fucking uses the Force, lets them all go. They fucking overpower the stormtroopers. Yeah, no, really though, they basically get the fuck out of Dodge.
No.
Lando's people are all like happy and
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
And he's all like, they're like, oh, yeah, thanks for coming back for us. Like,
He's like, yeah.
Yes, that's what I was intending on doing the whole
yes,
time.
coming back for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with this thing that I got over here with the fucking weird cut off dreadlocks now.
And my last note for this issue 2 was, so the cover art was BS? No Vader? Question mark. Fuck you.
Surprising no one.
Right. Well,
Because these are comic books and the cover art is never accurate.
yeah, that is true. I guess I had at least some expectation that we were going to see Vader really like,
Listen,
oh,
I'm
Princess
not
Leia.
I'm not a comic book guy, but I can tell you that I've never trusted a comic book cover ever in my fucking life.
Yeah.
Always been let down by comic book covers.
The 5th issue starts actually with a pretty funny moment. It's fucking Luke.
Right.
I say in quotations because it's this blonde kid
Right.
in a cantina. And he's like, yeah, I'm Luke Starbucker, and I definitely blew up the Death Star, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And he's like bragging and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, this is kind of weird. but he looks like Luke. Then all of a sudden, fucking Vader shows up and he fucking grabs him by the throat. His sunglasses come off. You can see he's got like a bionic eye, so it's clearly not Luke Skywalker. Yeah, he fucking kills this Luke imposter.
He's got a fake R2D2.
Yeah, and you know, it becomes clear that Vader had heard rumors that there was somebody claiming to be Luke on this planet. So he shows up, you know, thinking he's gonna roll up his son, and no, it was this fucking imposter. So he kills him for wasting his time, and then he yells at his fucking his intel officer.
Right. My intelligence was ironclad. Yeah,
Yeah, and then he says, "I have business on Vendaxa," which we saw in the Vader comics.
Yes.
So, and he's like, "So I have to get back to that business," and then he leaves. So it's like, okay, you get a little bit of crossover.
Yeah, because he's got that fucking droid with him in that same panel where he's talking about the intelligence being ironclad.
Oh, I didn't even notice
Yeah, so
that.
he's got that droid.
That annoying droid that he killed in
Yep.
in that last
and
issue.
the Death Troopers are there as well.
That's right. I didn't fucking notice that either. God damn. Good catch.
Thanks.
All right, I like it.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, he's got his moments.
Yep.
So Luke is basically now. So this is how Luke finds this fucking person who he's seen in these visions, right? He in these visions he sees these red rocky mountains in the background with some water.
John Denver was full of shit, man.
Yeah, and he's like, fucking. He's basically Googling planet with red mountains and water.
Yeah. Sidebar, real quick. Fucking did you see any of the NFL Europe game, the Germany game?
No.
Dude, hats off to the to all the Germans that attended that game, because it was a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like, as a fan watching the game, appreciating those fans that were there. They had like a 3 million people had applied for tickets for
Holy
like
shit.
70,000 tickets, right?
Really?
Yeah. Like, in my brain, I'm like, God, I don't know how they're going to do in Germany. Like, but apparently they do. NFL does really well in Germany.
Huh.
And so they sold the place out.
Yeah.
Apparently ticket prices were crazy.
Yeah.
And they sold the place out, and they fucking killed it. They were like into the game the whole entire time.
No
They were
shit.
fucking singing. They sang fucking they sang Country Roads, right? The whole fucking stadium, Country Road,
Yeah.
take me home. Like, they were playing it over to PA, right? So, and the whole fucking stadium is singing along with it.
Wow.
Like, they're in Germany, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and they're singing this song, and then after the music cuts off, they're in the middle of the play. They're still singing
Nice.
for like the next minute. They're singing the song.
Yeah.
And then the crowd was so into it. It was just such a cool thing to witness.
Yeah.
And then after the game was over, the crowd stayed. Like, all the post-game interviews and everything else, the crowd was all still there. They're still singing and doing all this shit. Really, really cool. Hats off to all the NFL fans that were in Germany for that game in Munich. I truly hope. I would love for the fucking like Eagles 49ers to fucking play out in Munich.
Uh-huh.
I would go in a heartbeat. I'd pay whatever it costs to go out there and experience that, because that seemed like a really, really fucking cool thing to see.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right, so back to this. So yeah, Luke Googles fucking planet with red mountains,
Right.
and he's like, "Oh, there's my planet. I found it." So now he's going out there.
that Google pretty handy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And he eventually makes his way out on like some fucking boat to this fucking chick's
He
cave.
gets to Waterworld. He shows up to Waterworld.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, and he finally finds this chick's cave, gets in there, boom, it's immediately fucking booby trapped, and come to find out this chick's name is Verla?
Virgin olive oil.
No, Verla. And she immediately fucking traps Luke, and she tries to fucking drown his ass because
There's
she...
a good. I'm trying to find it, but there's a good quote in here where he talks about sand.
Oh.
Whoa, good old sand. I ever tell you how much I love sand?
I saw that too.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's...
That's really
nice,
funny.
nice little callback to Anakin and
Yep.
his dislike of sand. So see, father and son are not,
Not quite so far apart.
yeah. Well, they are so far apart when it comes to sand because Luke likes sand.
You know, it's antithesis.
Yes. So anyway, yeah, homegirl captures Luke, fucking senses that he's Vader's son, and then proceeds to try to fucking drown him in this little cage that he's in.
Right. Like that would have shortened this fucking movie series real quick.
No, but she's going through all this dialogue about the fucking Inquisitors and the Purge and basically kind of a recap. And she's telling Luke a lot of this shit, which, this may be the first time he's hearing some of this stuff.
Oh, it has to be.
Because at this point, like, all the Inquisitors were gone.
Right. Well, so we thought.
Yeah.
Because there's still one. It's in the next comic.
Oh.
It's in the next book.
Okay, I've already forgotten. Anyway.
I love the look of just absolute, like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Jason. This book series that we're talking about right now, there's an Inquisitor in it.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. I remember what you're talking about now. I looked at my notes. I'm like, oh yeah, that guy was in it. So anyway, that was basically the end of that book where she's trying to fucking drown him in the cage.
Shit, folks.
I know. But we're trying to get through this fast because I know you got to go to your game. So anyway, Luke's trying to like fucking stop himself from fucking drowning. R2 to the rescue. Fucking zaps homegirl right in the back. Fucking zit.
Yeah.
Yep. So thank you, R2. Fucking saves Luke. Drains the thing, and he just like this great panel where he's like spitting out water. Just.
Yeah. R2 goes over. Fucking,
I think he zaps Luke too. Yeah.
Gives him the paddles. Like
clear.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Yeah. And anyway, he finds out that Verla was an apprentice to Farron Barr, which I don't know if we know who that fucking Jedi is. But that's what she mentions. And like this whole time too, like she doesn't know jack shit about Luke's fucking lightsaber, because that's the whole thing, right? He has these visions about her finding his lightsaber, and that's why he's there. But she's like, I don't know where the fuck your lightsaber is, but I know where a lightsaber is.
Right. Trust me, it's not a trap.
Right.
At all.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a trap.
No, not in the least. But she's like super bitter with the fucking the Jedi and the Force, so she wants like nothing to do with any of this shit. She's just like, if I tell you where it is, we just leave me the fuck alone and never come back. And he's like, done.
Deal.
Yeah. So yeah, she leads Luke to an old Jedi temple where there is the Grand Inquisitor. What planet was this on again? Did it say? Tempest.
Schmucka.
Yeah, Tempest. Like Tempest with no T. And yeah, it's an old fucking High Republic Jedi. They mentioned the High Republic too. They were very specific about that.
They were.
But a High Republic Jedi temple where there's a fucking lightsaber, and Luke just walks up, grabs the lightsaber, and then enter the fucking Grand Inquisitor.
Right.
Apparently his fucking ghost.
Right. This is the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider version
Yes.
of the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, because like apparently Vader has now trapped him and made him the guardian of this temple, I guess, as sort of a warning beacon. If a fucking Jedi shows up looking for old relics, they'll be like, hey, Vader, somebody's here.
Right.
And that's exactly what happens, because
Vader's like in mid conversation too, and suddenly like he goes bing. Oh,
yeah.
Somebody fucking tripped the trap.
Yeah, he probably got like a little
Grand Inquisitor trap. I gotta go.
Yeah, he got like a notification on his heads-up display, like
like
You've got mail.
like a Ring doorbell notification, like somebody's at your front door.
Yeah. He's probably got that too in that heads-up display.
He's asked to.
Yeah. So Luke is fighting the fucking Grand Inquisitor as he's basically talking to him. He kind of gives a brief thing about how he was a Jedi, and then he became an Inquisitor, and you actually get to see one flash of him in that fucking the white armor. Like if we go back to Rebels, when we kind of get into the Grand Inquisitor's like history, he was one of those fucking white knight Jedi guys, and before he fell and all that. So you see a quick panel of that. Fighting Luke, and then Luke eventually gets the best of him by doing what? Cutting off his fucking hand, because that's how we defeat our opponents in Star Wars.
Fuck your hand.
Yep. And he beats him, and fucking Vader shows up after Luke's already gone, and Inquisitor's like, just can I die now, please? Will you just fucking release me and let me die? And Vader's like, nope.
Nope. There's some things that are worse than death.
Yep. And so he leaves him there to be the fucking.
I put a link to that Farron Bar guy from Wikipedia in the show notes.
Okay, let me see. Is it somebody we've seen before?
I don't think so. It's just he's solely in the comics, but he was in the Vader 2017 comics, so I think we've seen him before.
Huh. He doesn't look like a pleasant guy.
No.
So anyway. So yeah, Luke gets back to the fucking fleet with his new lightsaber that he got from this fucking temple. It's a yellow lightsaber.
Right.
And this fucking book ends with him being like, ah.
Right, with all the people behind him.
Yeah, they're all just like, oh,
Well,
our Lord and Savior.
Right. Lame.
Yeah.
The ending of that struck me as very lame.
Yeah, but that ends the that 6-part series.
Right.
And so this kind of brings us to what you were asking me about right before we went on the air. It's like, is this series worth continuing?
Right.
And my first inclination is no.
Right.
The artwork is good. The story's fine, but it's not so compelling that I really give a shit. It's hard enough because it's the rebellion too, right? Because like following them and all of their bullshit, it's always been painful. Whereas the Vader stuff is far more compelling because they do a good job in those Vader comics of really delving into like the inner turmoil of Anakin as he's trying to like shut that whole side of himself off and be like, Anakin's dead, I'm Vader, but you still see the conflict in him throughout.
Yeah.
But then you also still see the fucking vicious side of him where he gets fucking pissed and just goes off and just fucking mass murders people. So
all I see are dead men.
Yeah.
Like, surrounded by dead men or something like that. Some great one-liners. I'm with you. I still think I would read the rest of the series.
Yeah.
Just because I'm curious now.
Yeah, they're quick reads, but as far as like guaranteeing us finishing them on the podcast, I'm going to say no. Unless, in our spare time, we're reading them and something crazy happens where it's like, oh, we got to talk about this on the show.
Something crazy.
But
honestly, I think if we use this as just, for everyone else, use this as a teaser. Like, hey, if you have Marvel Unlimited and you're looking to start a series, cool, start it. It's an interesting. I kind of like how they started it. It may get better as it goes, and I may finish it.
Sure.
But do we need to break it down?
No. Yeah, not really.
Probably not. There's probably more delectable content that we could be using podcast time for.
Yeah, for sure. Because there's enough content out there where we don't have to search for topics. Be like, fuck, we don't have anything to talk about. Let's do a comic now because
there's plenty.
There's plenty to get to.
There's plenty to talk about, and not to say that what I do like about going into the comics at this point is I like the idea that there's still canon out there to be learned.
Sure.
I mean, I'm always about that, but like I said with the Leia and Carbonite thing, like that's kind of a big reveal.
Yeah.
And there's no other place that I know of, I'll qualify that, that we have that piece of information.
Sure. Yeah.
That's not something that is certainly not ever revealed in the movie. I haven't seen it in any of the books. Like we've read all of this,
The sacred Jedi text!
with the Aftermath series and the Bloodline series and everything else, and I don't remember any recollection of Leia even casually saying, "Well, when I was frozen in carbonite."
Yeah.
So
well, because they would risk, somebody who hadn't read these comics being like, "When the fuck was she frozen in carbonite?" Now that could be also a good advertising drop. But at the same time, I think they really do try to keep everything independent of each other whilst still referencing certain things and giving us the little nuggets. Like when we see Poe's parents and we're like, oh, I know them. I remember them from this other comic, but it's like you don't have to. Like, if we had read these comics and having never read the Shattered Empire comics, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal.
Well, I mean, it's still because Dameron's still a name.
Yeah,
like from the major canon, it would still go like Dameron. What is significance here?
Yeah,
Right.
And then and you could have been like, oh, are these Poe's parents? Because they mentioned having a kid at that point too.
Yeah.
So like, oh, is this Poe's parents? And then they could do some further research and then be like, oh, yeah, they showed up in this other comic series as well.
If I had dollars to donuts, that this series they kill off the parents.
Well, we know that they live because Shattered Empire takes place after Return of the Jedi.
Well, this is true.
Yeah, remember because they ended up on, what was it, Yavin with the Force Tree?
Yavin, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember they took the Force Tree, and that's fucking what Poe grew up under. So it was like, ooh, was Poe going to have some Force abilities? No, they never paid that off.
Maybe, but no.
Thanks, Disney.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall thoughts. If you're a Star Wars fan, it's not a bad read.
If you've got Marvel Unlimited,
Then there's no reason to not.
there's no reason to not read it. I mean, they're quick reads. Like I said, the art. I agree with you. The artwork was good.
Yeah.
I think the stories were
Yeah.
I think you just have to go into it with like, oh my god, look at this canon, and go, this is canon, but it's canon for the comics, and it's going to be the stuff that you file away to fucking, impress other Star Wars fans at parties.
Yeah, but they're probably never going to reference it again.
No.
Like to your point, we're never going to get Leia thinking back, oh, that time I was frozen in carbonite. All right. Thank you. I think we're going to save that for next week at this point.
Fair enough.
Anyway.
There was creak.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, what's happening?
So, that being said, any last words on the comics before we...
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I think I said everything I needed to say.
All right, well, let me just check on Miss Lopez. Miss Lopez, are you almost ready?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'm awake.
All right, why don't you go ahead and come on out? We're ready for you.
I'm awake.
All right, well, come on out. We've got stuff for you to read. Miss Lopez.
Oh.
Hey, there she is.
I gotta put myself together.
Okay, rough weekend?
Literally. Everything seems off today.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Maybe it's your eyes. Maybe because your eyes are a little bit off.
It just seems off today. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, your eyes seem a little crooked.
My eyes are crooked. My mouth feels weird. It's like, I don't know. Maybe Fat Affleck fucking face fucked me too much. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
I didn't need that visual.
Oh, look at it, Jason.
Oh, God. Oh, I can't. Okay, you've got a read to do, don't you?
I'm trying to come up with a sound effect for you.
I don't need it. I don't need the sound effect.
Oh, Jason. Oh, you make my day, Jason.
You make something for me. That's for sure. So
I'm gonna get my eyes on.
well, no, you can leave them as they are. They
No, it's I can't see like that.
well, obviously.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, that's not any better, is it?
Not really, but I think you should just go with it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I got crazy eyes today. They're crazy. Look at how crazy I am. All right, let me do the reads.
All right, let's do the reads.
All right, I'm warning you right now.
Uh-huh.
Everything is in caps.
Okay.
Everything.
Okay.
The entire read
Okay.
is in caps.
I mean, you just read what's on the teleprompter, right?
I'm just warning you.
Okay.
I'm gonna scroll.
Okay.
All right, ready?
I'm always ready.
After our show, head to the live chat of After the Weekend, where they are discussing Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Then at 21:30, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, tune into the War of the Stars for an end or episode 10 recap. Yelling through this whole thing is going to be a challenge. I almost lost it there. The Redfoot Network has 30 fantastic podcasts.
I'm 37?
Plus one. Red 5 Gaming is currently under construction as it is being taken over and revamped by Extra Techie. Head to bio.link/red5. That's bio.link/red5 to check out the amazing lineup. I just want to note for the record that my enunciation is perfect.
That's fine.
Just look at my mouth move.
I'm
It's
watching.
perfect.
I'm watching.
Everyone, can you see it? Can you see it? That guy's scary. Look at it. Look at this guy. Look at this scary. Ooh, what's his name?
Babu Frick.
Oh, I like you, Babu. Hey, I love it. Look at you. I love it. Anyway, Cantina Family Happenings. Well, that's not in caps. It's just bold. Bold requires something.
Is that read differently?
I don't. Not today.
Okay. It
The
should
News
though.
and Abuse Pod will be discussing Patreon topic Indiana Jones tomorrow with Lunar Girl and Dragon Buddy. Join Scott and Kim at 1700, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and enjoy!
You're gonna lose your voice if you keep yelling
And
this.
moving it back, we'll be reviewing week 10 of our Sidebar Cantina Fantasy Football League. Join Dr. Snooch, Brady McLovin, and Lunar Girl on Wednesday at 1800, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They will be live exclusively in the Cyber Cantina Facebook group. Grab a beer and show them some love in their chat. I am yelling. Is this any different how I usually talk?
A little bit.
Oh my god! I feel like it's so loud.
Oh, it is.
Also on Wednesday at DSW The Escape I will be discussing Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Tune in at 19:05, 7:05 Eastern Standard Time for all the hilarious antics of Dr. the Snooch, Brady McLovin, and Dragon Buddy. I am yelling. It's all in caps. The whole thing is in caps.
Oh, jeez.
Dr. the Snooch and Lunar Girl will be discussing Stranger Things Season 2, Chapter 5, Dig Dug, on Friday. Join their live chat on Stranger Things Has Happened. 1907 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. Oh God, it's hard screaming all this. Lemon Storms did not drop a new episode, but Keith is an awesome guy, and you should subscribe. Ding that bell and subscribe to all your see notification when he does. The Orange Fence Show released episode 58, the Ewok movies, last Friday. They also he became so angry. Like screaming so angry. They're supposed to be yelling, not screaming, angry. The Orange Fence Show released episode 58, the Ewoks movies, last Friday. They also have a new YouTube and Instagram. Oh, they have a new YouTube channel. They're not just on Spotify.
That's good.
And then Instagram. Go subscribe and follow. Go subscribe and follow.
Wait, so are they doing their stuff live on YouTube now?
I don't know.
Well, I
It doesn't say that here, Jason.
when you're talking to me, you don't have to yell.
Big Sweet was celebrating his son's 18th birthday, so he didn't do shit again this week. Subscribe to him anyway because Lunar Girl asked nicely. And I screamed it because that's what I do, apparently. Lunar Girl would like to thank Sidebar host Jason Roscoe for suggesting all caps tonight for Hennifer's read. Meow!
And just for the record, yes, they are doing their show live on YouTube now.
Nice!
Orange and Fett Show.
Nice!
I have subscribed.
Nice!
Did you subscribe as the show, or did you subscribe for you?
As the show, it looks like.
Oh, nice. That's very nice. Now subscribe as you.
All right.
And you subscribe, and then you subscribe, and then you subscribe, and then somebody gets a Ferrari.
Are you talking to me or them?
Everyone!
Okay.
Everyone!
Okay. All right. Don't yell at me.
They're upsetting Babu! Look at him. He's upset.
He looks very upset.
Look at him. Hey! That'd be a good drop, too. Hey!
That would be good.
You can find us at bio.link/the Sidebar Cantina, where you will find links to YouTube, audio, Patreon, our latest Spotify music mixtape, and all social media platforms, including Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Discord, and TikTok. See it right there. Question asked and answered.
And none of this part is capitalized?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Thank God. There was stars too. I should have done something about the stars. Like a and that's it. like I don't know how to accentuate that. Like,
I think that's perfect.
Also in our bio link is our TeePublic merch shop. We have t-shirts and hoodies in a wide variety of design sizes and colors. There are Sidebar Cantina tote bags, phone cases, exclusive stickers, and pins. Just about anything you can imagine. This week, Lunar Girl will be adding some new designs to the mix because she burned out last week and she was supposed to. Stay tuned for details. God, so it's like, oh my God, so much yelling.
It's kind of hot in here too.
Oh my God. Yeah, because somebody went in, oh, I'm chilly, let's leave the heat on. Oh, okay.
I was cold at the beginning.
Oh yeah, now what? Now what? It's like 90 fucking degrees in here.
Oh, it's not that hot.
Oh, it's so hot, Jason.
It's just
oh, God,
it's
so
starting
hot.
to get warm.
It's so hot. That's why my eyes are falling off, Jason, because it's so hot.
All right, well then maybe you should finish the
Look,
read.
you're making Babu upset. Look at him. Hey! Reviews!
No new reviews.
Motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
I
I think we need to hold you hostage again until we get more
sad
reviews.
Face. Look.
Oh God. You look like you've had a stroke. Like the whole left side of your face is like
This is
drooping.
my sad face. Write us, please. Write us a 5-star review on Apple. Don't have an Apple account? Our Facebook page has a review feature too. Just screenshot your review before you hit done and DM us the pic on Instagram or Twitter. Tell us what you love. Tell us what you love or even hate about the show. Jennifer Lopez, that's me. Or Hank or Edith or Mama or somebody fun will read your review word for word on our next episode. Plus, Luna Girl will send you swag. All right, I'm done.
You done?
I'm done now.
All right. Well, thank you, and we'll maybe see you next week. I don't know. I think we might need to put you on standby until we get some more reviews. What do you think?
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe.
Well, Dave and I will discuss that this week, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll give you a break next week until we get some 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
So, either way.
Bitches. Write the reviews, bitches. Write reviews, not just the stars. We love the stars. Thank you.
Type some dialogue in there.
Give me something to read because I love it. And if you put it in all caps, I will scream it. Ah! Can't wait to hear what that sounds like on a podcast.
Oh, I'm sure it's gonna be great.
Ah!
Oh, Jesus Christ!
What would people outside think?
Oh,
What is that girl screaming?
Dave,
Scream bloody murder.
my neighbors. Oh my God, they probably think some weird shit's going on here. They hear guitar all the time. They hear the podcast. They see us going in and out, pissing, other things.
All right, bye.
All right, goodbye, Ms. Lopez. We'll see you next time. Dave, you back?
Yeah.
Hey, there he is.
Hey!
I love it. I love the drop.
Yeah.
I love the Babu drop.
So next week. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Next week, as I briefly alluded to with our visual aids, we are talking about G.I. Joe. Gonna touch a little bit on the show, the toys, maybe where the franchise has gone in recent years. It's gonna be an interesting conversation. I'll just say that.
All right. Yeah. It'll be good.
But yeah, good.
It'll be a
Big.
good walk down memory aisle.
Yeah. As opposed to memory lane.
As opposed to memory lane, because the aisle of the toy store.
Yeah.
You go down into Toys R Us.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. I like the way you did that.
Yeah. I totally meant to do that too.
Indeed.
Because that's how my brain works. It's like a laser.
Yeah. Laser.
Right.
All right. So yeah, next week, G.I. Joe. And yeah, we'll take it from there. And thank you everybody who's still with us, who sat through
After a screaming match.
yeah, Miss Lopez screaming. I guess go Birds.
That's right.
And
Go Birds.
Good luck to the Eagles. Hopefully they make quicker work of their opponents tonight as opposed to the way the 49ers decided to, make me sweat a little bit over the Chargers. The fucking Chargers of all teams.
Yeah, Herbert's a good quarterback though.
He is. Yeah, I think they need some more weapons and
They do desperately.
yeah. So
Oh, they'll get Devontae Adams, I'm sure. After they disbanded the fucking Raiders for being a football organization.
they should have been disbanded 30 years ago, but
How do you lose? Brady, are you listening? How do you still have a job after you lose to a team that has an offensive lineman with no coaching experience as the head coach? He just walks in there, puts a headset on, has a fucking play call sheet.
they're a disaster of a franchise. They have been for a long time.
Anyway, we should sign off.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you again, everybody. We'll see you next week for G.I. Joe. And until then, Dave and everybody else, may the force be with you.
May the Lord be with you.
Okay, now what do I click?
Perfect. Actually, don't move. Don't do anything. Don't even look
Don't look at what?
at my Black Series figure that came in while we were doing the show that will get revealed next week.
Fair enough. So Amazon showed up. It just showed up late.
Yeah.
Later than anticipated. Which, how spoiled are we that would say?
I know. How dare they not deliver my fucking thing in 24 hours?
Right.
When
right.
they said they would on a Sunday.
Right. This is in 26 hours instead. Motherfuckers.
Yeah. How hold on.
How dare you!
Yeah, we didn't get to use the drop.
No,
Only
I used
the
it
once.
Yeah, I think I got it once in there.
You got at least once.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I'm logging off.
Yeah, Dave's got to make the game. So, no after show. Thank you, everybody. We love you. You're the best.
Bye.
See you later. Lunar Girl, give me that Lego drop.
And you will do it.
Do it. Oh, I don't have that on the thing. It's where
Hey!
the do it was. Now I got to go.
Do it!
So,
You heard the man.
yeah. All right, we're out.